So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another best of 5 series for you today. This is week number 3 of the EPL between the SKGs and the Little Ninjas. Flontier representing the SKGs, spawning into the southwestern map, playing as the Portuguese. GiveUAnxiety from the Little Ninjas, also playing the Portuguese into game 1 on High Plains, spawning into the northeast of the map today. A matchup between these two players, which I'm very excited for. Lots of trash talking going on, and also being joined by a caster who's also very excited for this matchup, but very knowledgeable as well. And I'm hoping for an excellent series. We're seeing wood crate start for both players. So, Lecastet, are you expecting early advanced train posts from both players?
That could be an option for sure. You could also start with a trading post with the 200 wood starts, but I'm not a big fan of that because you have to chop like a lot of wood to get your houses and it's going to slow you down a lot. So yeah, both players going simply for a house, not gathering the second wood crate. So perhaps we'll see ATP later.
Well, ATP could come down first card as well, but we'll have to see if they want to send that first card. The other option the Portuguese can do is just save that card for the H2 and then get that momentum ahead with an extra H2 shipment. Most likely be sending your crates, the 700 coins, 700 woods. 700 food is usually an option for Portuguese like to send so far. We've seen Flontier picking up a nice food treasure. 70 XP on the right hand side. This could be actually quite nice to... I think he should be able to get his first shipment in before GiveUAnxiety. He's just killed more treasure guardians and got that XP a little bit faster. Faster age 1 shipment, faster ATP, and possible a few trading post steals.
Yeah, that's true. On the other hand, we could see GiveUAnxiety going straight for this 110 food treasure, which would definitely help him a lot, getting his age up a bit faster.
Yeah, he certainly scouts that, and that's a nice, easy treasure to pick up, especially if the crack shots remaining. Take on one of the Coyotes. Crack shot the Outlaw Rifleman. I'd have actually liked to see GiveUAnxiety start working on the Coyote first before that crack shot comes in, because the Outlaw Rifleman was a little bit far behind the treasure, but starting to crack shot it. But I think he really wants to kind of take damage here and commit and make sure he gets that food before he clicks the age up, because otherwise it's not as impactful.
Yeah, that's true. And we see advanced trading post coming in for Flontier, and GiveUAnxiety also spent a shipment, so it's going to be either economic theory or advanced trading post. No, it doesn't have eco theory, so it's going to be ATP again.
Yeah, just imagine if a GiveUAnxiety sent eco theory first card. That will be a sign of an inexperienced port player, but correctly going for the ATP. And Flontier has crackshotted a Grizzly Bear, let it recharge, dropping down an advanced train post here, and should have the crackshot available for another 80 wood. Also seen one Vil right side, and actually going for the train post steal here, and should be getting here before GiveUAnxiety does. If Flontier's micro in this could be a pickup for him.
No, he doesn't have the Woo ready to drop the TP,
oh,
so yeah,
so
Kiwi's going to take it.
Oh, it's so close. And I think he spent that wood on that, his own train post as well. But getting a second TP down, another villager from GiveUAnxiety getting another TP down. So both players sending one Vil forward. I think Flontier should be able to get to that, the third trading post, and take a 3-2 advantage.
Yeah. Flontier being able to drop his TP a bit faster, so yeah, he's gonna get the third trading post.
It's really close though. He hasn't got wood just yet.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So both players are still chopping wood, which could indicate some H2 play, or they're just gonna switch to other resources and drop a market, perhaps. We'll see how they decide to play that, because there are a few options. Flontier having the TP lead, so he could go for a bit of H2 play and trying to secure another TP and get stagecoach.
We'll turn to where we're going to see the covered wagons from the age up and where they're going to be placed. GiveUAnxiety aging up with the food crate. Covered wagon stuck in between all the animals and villagers. It's still stuck there. That's quite awkward. But both players electing to drop their town centres very close to each other on that middle trade route in the centre of the map. And hopefully both players have got their unit shipments lined up. 8 crossbows, 6 musketeers in deck. We may see these cards coming out.
I think Gio is going to play H2, right? Because he just aged with the food crate, which might indicate he's going to send 700 coin first.
What did Flontier age up with? Flontier went up with the quartermaster, and that's the wood available for the barracks. And such a delayed town centre as well compared to what Flontier's doing. But yeah, GiveUAnxiety 700 coin first card coming in, but with no wood on the floor for any military production. Looks like GiveUAnxiety wants to go to the third age, and Flontier may be able to put some pressure on here.
We see GiveUA didn't macro the best he could because he chopped one extra TP basically, and he couldn't get it. So he's a bit short on food at the moment, and yeah, it's going to delay his FF by a bit.
He still has another 250 coin in his huge chests of coin to gather up, so should be able to sell a single batch of food to get the remainder coin. He does have hunting dogs, and the Portuguese having their slight benefit on the food gathered from hunting as well. So GiveUAnxiety should be able to age up at a respectable time. 700 woods to follow up here, but Flontier, 5 crossbows being trained, and does he have any more units in queue? He sent 700 woods, 700 food, 1 musket in production. Maybe we might see a musket card coming out as well.
Yeah, it seems like Flontier is aiming for a timing push here, sending a lot of crates and perhaps followed by a unit shipment, as you mentioned. And GiveUA is still a bit short on resources, so yeah, definitely delaying his age up by a bit, and he could be vulnerable to this Portuguese timing from Flontier.
Yeah, maybe GiveUAnxiety could have sent 700 food, because you need to remember, you have 2 town centres in the second age, and both are spending food to train more villagers. You can see GiveUAnxiety has trained 2 villagers to this town centre, and it hasn't even clicked up yet, while Flontier is now pushing in, and the 6th Musketeer card has been shipped as well, so Flontier pushing onto GiveUAnxiety's second town centre. Will he stay next to this train post and town centre? He's only taken fire from the town centre though, due to how far away from the train post he is.
Yeah, on the other hand, yeah, as you mentioned, Flontier is being out of the line of sight of this trading post, and GiveUA just clicked up, so he doesn't have the resources available for Minutemen, and could be quite tricky to hold this pressure. I mean, that's not a ton of units, but if you don't have anything to defend, even not Minutemen, you might be in trouble. He's only got 2 Veers in this TC, so TC fire is quite weak as well.
Yeah, Flontier obviously knows how much this town centre is doing just by looking at the stats. 18 ranged attack is quite pitiful for defending such an important building like the town centre. 4 Hussars training as well, and this covered wagon has to go in base. Either gets picked off by the Hussars. GiveUAnxiety's herding as well has been a bit slow. There's a couple of deers outside. Needs 4 Hussars if they're using raiding could do well, but Minutemen pop from Flontier's forwards TC, but big enough army here to deal with. I think GiveUAnxiety could have waited for a 5 Dragoon shipments to pop the Minutemen with.
Yeah, his TC is quite low HP, and his third TC being forced to be built in base as well, and that could be really good for Flontier, right? What do you send as GiveUAnxiety here? I guess you send Dragoons, but there are 8 crossbow shipment, and there's a few Hussars for any Castadors as well, so...
But let's look on from the other side though, from GiveUAnxiety's point of view. Flontier has sent 6 musks, 8 crossbows, and has only just taken down a single town centre. GiveUAnxiety still has 2 town centres. He's not going to be that down in eco, but actually having said that though, he hasn't really been training vills behind this. What is this vill count? It's 27 to 19.
Yeah, because he's been AGing, he's been pressured on his second TC, so he didn't train vills as well. Was forced to call Minutemen, and... yeah, I mean, sure, GiveUAnxiety is in H3 now, and he's got the tech advantage, but Flontier got the eco lead. He's got more training posts, so he can keep sending crates to either age up or try to finish that in H2.
I hope Flontier has scouted this kind of side of the map. Both players haven't scouted this top side, but he comes in for a nice raid on these vills. And look at this, Expos and Crossbows coming in onto these food villagers. No greatcoats, and lots of these are ranged units. A couple of vills will go down here. 1 getting picked off. A slow reaction from GiveUAnxiety. Probably 3 will get down here. Yeah, 3 get picked off for an easy pro-kin.
It's quite big, actually. On the other hand, Flontier is going to try to force that, but he's banking a lot of resources for his age up as well, and... it's gonna come down into, yeah, GiveUAnxiety's good micro already picked up 2 Hussars. A bit sloppy with the Dragoons here, and I mean, perhaps one of the Hussars will survive and snare the remaining Castadors.
Both Hussars on low HP, 1 Dragoon standing. Looking into the units in queue, what does have GiveUAnxiety for reinforcements? No military, just 2 more villagers from the town centre. Hasn't got the food required to actually train military units behind this. Still though, with a 2 TP level 1 trading, which I say, GiveUAnxiety should have enough XP now to be sending another shipment behind this. And having a look at his deck,
Yeah, but
his options are limited though. 7 Castor, 2 Organs.
yeah, I was about to mention that as well. Flontier is aging behind it, and basically he traded a bunch of crossbows, musket, and remaining hussars for almost 2 of the Portuguese shipments. So yeah, Flontier is going to be up. He should have the space to drop his TC over here if he wants to. And then what? He's going to send Castadors himself or Dragoons, and I don't see how GiveUAnxiety can punish these semi-fast vultures from Flontier.
Who now has that third town centre as well, and actually, because he knows he's in a decent position, doesn't have to send it too forward as a defensive building or in base as defensive. He's actually pushing out on the right side to try and gather some map control. Flontier will see this Castador army moving due to the train post line of sight. And I think this castle is actually wanting to try and siege, but with 12 siege attack, they do have lots of range resist, but they're not going to be sieging down this trading post for however long they want to stay there.
Probably not. And yeah, I mean, this town center is going to be quite safe. Flontier is going to decide to drop it a bit safer and not like covering these 2 big hunts in his gold mine. So playing a bit safer here, but I guess it's fine from his perspective. And yeah, if we look at military unit population, Flontier already got more army. He's got more villages, and he's got more town centers and more TPs as well. So more everything basically.
Yeah, he has more Castadors, even after GiveUAnxiety has sent 8 Castadors, 7 Castor. Flontier has only just sent the 8 Castors. His stable is already up and already training extra Dragoons, and so when Flontier pushes out with a 5 Dragoon shipment, or even maybe an Organ Gun shipment, let's see what Flontier wants to follow up with, he should have more military units of both, you know, the same composition which GiveUAnxiety is going for, and it looks like GiveUAnxiety is just going pure military here. 7 Castors, now the 2 Organ Guns as well, but Castadors and Organ Guns, where is this anti-cavalry support from GiveUAnxiety? It feels exceptionally risky, especially in a tournament game.
Yeah. I like it, to be fair. He's so far behind, he has to make a move, and yeah, if you look closely, GiveUAnxiety's army is like a perfect counter to Flontier's army at the moment.
But Flontier has seen where GiveUAnxiety is. He's happy that the siege damage is not great. Actually moving in with Dragoons could pick off a Dragoon reinforcement, but could also pick off a few villagers as well with these Castadors. But looking to try and snare. Just imagine if Flontier popped Mamelukes. I don't think that's going to be the order of the day here, but could go for 1,000 coin first and then try and mass up on Dragoons and then send those Mamelukes afterwards.
I think he should just go for 2 organ guns himself and go for the artillery war, and then since he's got much more Dragoons, he can sacrifice the Theo to just get the advantage in these organ gun war. But he could also go for Mamelukes for sure, or even a few Hussars.
GiveUAnxiety does take a trading post down from Flontier, but that just levels up the trading post counts 2 apiece for both players, still on that level 1, just providing both players with experience points. And Flontier is a full shipment ahead. He did spend extra shipments in the second age, but now sending out 5 Dragoons about a minute ago. Both players probably sending themselves another shipment at this point. We'll have to see what both players are going for. GiveUAnxiety spent all his military shipments already, apart from the Mamelukes. May have to be forced to send a coin shipment, and 1,000 coin does come in for GiveUAnxiety. Flontier could be sending organs in, and as you say, push out with that larger army and momentum, but choosing to go for 7 Castors.
He's gonna get a shot from these organ guns, but yeah, I mean 7 Castadors feels a bit underwhelming at this point. I think you want an answer to these organ guns, because that's pretty much the only way GiveUAnxiety can come back into this game. As we mentioned, he's behind in eco, he's behind in military, and it's gonna get worse and worse for him. But as long as Flontier cannot kill these organ guns, then yeah, GiveUAnxiety can get a few damage out of them.
Flontier now pushing in from the left-hand side, trying to get a few pot shots on GiveUAnxiety's army, but GiveUAnxiety hastily retreating from that trading post into the safety of his organ guns, and GiveUAnxiety picking up another trading post from Flontier. Also building one down to the south side. The town centre from Flontier has been up. He could have Minutemen's that to try and pick off the Explorer from GiveUAnxiety. Need to remember this is also an advanced training post from GUA, so it'll be really tough to siege down now. And I think GiveUAnxiety, he's steadied the ship. It feels a more of an even position than it was a while ago, but the economic lead still in favour from Flontier, who has that extra town centre at his disposal.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how the fight goes, but I think Flontier should come ahead out of that. He's got so many Dragoons, 22, you can definitely afford to sack a few for these organ guns. And yeah, Gio has been sending
organ guns going forward, Dragoons moving in for pot shots, and GiveUAnxiety's army is AFK, and both those organ guns are going to go down resi free, not even getting a volley off there. So nice pickup from Flontier there, and that should be the green light for him to go his own organ guns behind it and not lose an artillery war.
Yeah, definitely. That's what Flontier needed, right? Basically getting these 2 organ guns for free, and yeah, I mean, GUA is getting the 4th trading post, but there's still no stagecoach, and 1k wit now, so he might decide to go for the stagecoach play himself and get back in the eco wall like that, but I think Flontier got the meteor to just deny that, really.
Flontier moving in, sniping off the Explorer, denying that trading post from GiveUAnxiety there, so a bit of wood has been invested into this trading post, but it also denies the Portuguese player of GiveUAnxiety to even go for a Cheyenne trading post and research the extra hunts, which the Cheyenne native post allows both players to, and both players have run out of hunts in their own base. This could be a good time to actually send that bison technology to either town centres just to try and help with their eco, but scrap that. Flontier saved enough coin without a coin shipment for Mamluks. Mam's charging in straight away, and Flontier really needs to kind of pull his Dragoons in just to kind of solidify his attack.
It's massive. GiveUAnxiety Goons went for a raid at the worst time possible, so Flontier is pushing in right now, and
yeah, a couple of Hussars from Anxiety on top of the Castors from Flontier, but enough Dragoons here to try and finish away, but Mamluks, all 4 of them still alive, in hand attack with the Castors, actually absorbing quite a lot of fire from Castors. They're distracting these guys from where their targets, having to pull lots of villagers forward as well, and Flontier will be very happy to see his villager pull, just pick off a few of these guys, retreat once you've used up all your Mamluks to tank, and that eco leads slightly in favour of Flontier, but Stagecoach has been in now, and that was actually relatively well held from GiveUAnxiety there.
It was indeed. That went much better for GiveUAnxiety. That it should have gone like open field in the middle of the map, but he used his VS to tank, so he lost a few, but got a good trade in exchange, and now it seems that he's a bit ahead in the scum count, right? And second Rex going in for Flontier, definitely a good addition at this point. With that kind of eco, you can definitely afford a 3rd military building, but Gio is going to push these Veils over here with his Dragoons and Castles trying to poke and get some free shots.
GiveUAnxiety is one of those players who always loves to raid. He's always raiding, usually sending 5 Hussars to try and raid as well. And even at the south, we do see, there's 2 Hussars from that previous engagement going for raids, having to pull Flontier's 4 Dragoons to support. At the moment, Flontier does have the lead in terms of Castor count and Dragoon counts, but GiveUAnxiety with his 3-to-1 TP advantage, if he waits this out a little bit longer, I think GiveUAnxiety can get even closer in terms of economic count, and then match what Flontier's army is doing, even sending Dragoon combat, and Flontier hasn't got the shipment in just yet.
Yeah, it seems that GUA managed to kind of come back into that. He's still behind in eco, but he's got more TPs, so this eco difference is being kind of neglected. But yeah, 2 organ guns for Flontier, and this is going to be quite tough for GUA to deal with.
Hazard raiding with 38 raiders. Thank you, Hazard, for the raid there. Currently in game 1 between Flontier and GiveUAnxiety. GiveUAnxiety going for a fast fortress build, but Flontier denying that forward town centre after it was built with a 6 Musketeer Expo raid. Even the 1 HP Minutemen going for raids, and Flontier doesn't have his greatcoats. These Minutemen one-shot kill these villagers, and having to force these guys to try and defend. So nice use of those Minutemen. Yeah, that's quite funny to watch.
That's true, and yeah, as you were mentioning, like both players are kind of out of food, out of safe food. So yeah, we see different location that could be targeted by some Hussar raid, and GiveUAnxiety knows that, and that's why he went for a Huss raid on the bottom of the map.
Oh wow, look at this, GiveUAnxiety,
Wow.
Mamelukes, Dragoon combat, and a full Hussar switch. Lots of Dragoons here from Flontier, but no Dragoon combat just yet. Those Orc guns will have to do really well to try and pick off the Castles, but these Castles, there's so many Castles here from Flontier, I think GiveUAnxiety might actually be able to have a really good fight.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, the position of the cliff kind of made it hard for GiveUAnxiety to engage, but now he's got a good position with this Cav, and Mameluk's tanking a lot. Organ Gun's still alive, so they're gonna get a lot of good shots on Castles. You see, all the Castles are almost dead, and yeah, I think Flontier is gonna come out ahead of this fight quite convincingly.
Nice reinforcing batch of 5 Hussars. What he needs to do with the
wow.
Mamelukes. Another
Plus
batch
5
from the
from the
south
back.
as well. Actually now snaring the Dragoons, and there's still Castles on the field which can pick off these Dragoons. A couple of Dragoons still trying to take down his Mamelukes, which have been very, very effective from GiveUAnxiety.
This is actually so much closer than what I expected, because Frontier's goons are almost dead now, so his Castles are quite weak to all the cavalry remaining for GiveUAnxiety.
But also, Frontier's Dragoon count is pretty low now, and if Flontier reinforces with more Hussars or more Dragoons, should be in a good position. And let's have a look into units in queue. What are both players doing? Goons and Castles from Anxiety, Hussars and Castles from Flontier.
Yeah, and Flontier got like 20 idle Veers at the moment. He just fixed them, but they've been idle during this entire fight. And yeah, GO is going to target the resources now, and gonna put the pressure on Flontier for sure.
Hussars and Dragoons frantically chasing, but Flontier, no greatcoats once again, another Ville going down, and having to run away from the town centre at this point, actually going into more danger at this point, but enough Hussars and Dragoons reinforcing, and actually going to meet up with GiveUAnxiety's villagers. The action is just going to move from that north side straight to the east side of the map. Hussars and Dragoons facing off each other. Slight military advantage for Flontier at the moment, but there's more Dragoons here from Anxiety.
Calvin is on Castles doing a lot of damage to these Dragoons.
Oh wow, GiveUAnxiety
he's
sending
using
Royal
punch.
Mints. That's a bit of a interesting shipment to send at this point.
Yeah, but what else do you send really? Both are out of military shipments in H3, so I guess you go for eco upgrades at this point, because they both have 7 EVs, so...
Yeah, that eco count is actually really close considering that Flontier has had the TC advantage this entire game. It's not like both players have lost many fills, both players losing 10 and 9 respectively. Well, this is so close. We had that massive army fight, but now it's just both players are now fighting with scraps of units they can find left, right, and centre. But big Hussar,
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, big Hussar batch from Flontier though. Enough Castles here to try and pick off these Dragoons from GiveUAnxiety, but these Hussars will start actually raising GiveUAnxiety's eco, and even more Villes pushing forward onto these Bisons. Neither player has gone for that Cheyenne settlement, which only costs 120 wood with the ATP card.
Yeah, I think Gio is quite bleeding Veers here, and they're not gathering. He's behind in army as well, so I think Flontier should clean up. And yeah, there comes a GG.
Wow, GG even comes out, and I didn't think it was over there. It was looking tough, but GiveUAnxiety at least did very well to kind of come back into multiple times, and for a brief period,
Yeah.
I thought he had the advantage.
That was a really good game one for sure. Quite close. Different build orders as well.
God, if the rest of the game's anything to go by, I'm excited for the entire series now. That was a great game
hell
for
yeah.
game one. Yeah. The villager count for Flontier, it was so much in favour of Flontier early on. You can see after, well, GiveUAnxiety stops making vills while aging up, but as you said, he was pressured on that forward town centre. That town centre also went down, and then his age up town centre to the third age took a while to construct, but didn't train vills for essentially maybe 2 minutes, 2 whole minutes of not training vills from GiveUAnxiety, and that led him to about a 19 to a 32 villager disadvantage. But good villager production from both players moving forward, and as that difference remained, but the percentage difference decreased, so it felt like GiveUAnxiety was getting closer and closer. Briefly had the stagecoach advantage. Looking at number of trading posts, Flontier had the initial lead on the XP level 1 route, but once the stagecoach came in, GiveUAnxiety consistently having more trading posts from Flontier, but that military unit population, it just builds and builds and builds up, and that tension just can't stand anymore. Flontier pushed in with that Mameluke push, and got a respectable trade. He killed quite a few Vils, but in the end, really well for GiveUAnxiety to hold off, and actually lost more military than he would have hoped for. But then that led GiveUanxiety have the confidence to then once pop in the Mamelukes and 5 Hussars. Military population jumps from 60 up to about 90 plus, and then that big engagement, that was a bloodbath, and then afterwards it was very scrappy towards the end.
Yeah, this engagement kind of came down of Flontier protecting really well his Ogun guns, so they killed pretty much all the castles quite quickly. And also the cleave in the middle of the map between the TPs, blocking GiveUanxiety's cap from fully engaging with the angle he wanted to. And yeah, from there, Flontier getting the better trade, being a bit ahead in eco, and having the control of the remaining food as well on the right side of the map, and kind of decided the game.
The next map in this map pool between the SKGs and Nil Ninjas is going to be on Dakar, and very recently there was the update to the ESOC Patch 8.2, and one of the changes in that patch was just to touch up a few of these new maps. Dakar in the Southern Sea now has 6 whales which spawn instead of 4, and this is not necessarily related to tournament gameplay, but I was watching GiveUanxiety stream earlier today, and he had played a very good opponent on this map as well, but eventually lost a Brit Mirror because the coin income from the sea, which his opponent had, just was able to produce so many artillery pieces, and then just defeated GiveUanxiety's British pick. And we may see sea play coming into a little bit more of a feature here. I suppose Portuguese now being unavailable for both civs, maybe not.
Yeah, on the previous version of this map, you could kind of ignore water if you had the TPs, but here with 6 whales, it's another story, I think.
Yeah. Interesting comment from Hawkgirl in the chat there, suggesting that both players could have gone for the Comanche native settlement as well. Both the Cheyenne and Comanche spawn on the high plains, which both have technologies which help cavalry civilizations, and quite a lot of units then being trained by dragoons and towards the end Hussars. I think the Cheyenne have a train time reduction, so you can get your reinforcements faster. The Cheyenne have a speed and a HP bonus, which in terms of a raiding game as well, very beneficial. And with those advanced train post shipments being sent in, very easy to kind of get into in tech.
Yeah, definitely something you could consider, especially in this match where range infantry is quite weak. Castles are like really weak to cav, so definitely something you could consider. Even getting the speed for your Hussars and Dragoons is really good in raiding. You do have the map pool, right? I think Flontier is asking.
Dakar, Kamchatka, Manchuria, Bering Strait. So that is the correct map pool. Obviously, each team will play a different map pool each week, but at the end of the entire tournament, everyone would have played through each of the map pools. That's map pool 1 to 6, which is very set. So both players know which maps are remaining. Both players know which player is picking first. It's the SKG to pick first, and Flontier will be up for Flontier to decide what he wants to go on this map. And GiveUanxiety, I've only really seen him play the British on this map. It's funny. I've seen obviously GiveUanxiety streams a lot on his own accounts. Certainly do check it out. I've noticed though that he consistently forgets to get the Bhakti Temple berry upgrades, and he's always dropping down his own meals before eating up all the berries in his own base, or even expands into the north side. I think he's now aware of that tech and may incorporate this into his strategies moving forward. Flontier going for Spain here.
Yeah, interesting pick, and GiveUanxiety is going to go with British straight away.
I like that. I think on this map, British is a good pick. You can retreat to the sea as well if you want to go for the extra eco. The British do as far as I'm aware, reasonably well versus Spain. And if he can try and put some pressure on the second age while the Spanish players advancing, that's a bonus. Flontier, what is he wanting to do? Probably, again, another advanced trading post play, capture the TPs to the north. If you capture the trading posts, you can maybe drop a frigate into that middle pond, maybe a tower on the pond as well. Falconets coming up. Could be a classic Age 3 push.
So many options on this map.
That north part of the map, though, where all the berries are, is also home to 2 5k coin mines. And if you have Amalgamation and a town centre up to the north side, a very, very fast way of gathering coin. I think GiveUAnxiety will be looking to push out onto that north side. It will be up to Flontier to try and deny that, though. I think Flontier has to make the decisions and play as the aggressor and kind of dictate how the game wants to play. GiveUAnxiety will have to react his best and try and counter what the Spanish player does.
Controlling the top of the map is so nice on Dakar, because obviously you get berries upgrades and there's a lot of berries on the top. There's also 2 5k gold mines to be controlled.
Spawning into game number 2 on Dakar. This is another match between the SKGs and the Ninjas. Flontier taking a 1-0 lead into this Play All 5 series as we go into game number 2. Flontier spawning into the left-hand side of Dakar, playing as the Spanish civilization in the colour red. His opponent, GiveUAnxiety, will be spawning on the right-hand side, playing as the British, and we do see a single wood crate start for both players.
Yeah, sure. That could be even a bit better for Spain, actually. So, oh, never mind. It's 300 would start for GiveUAnxiety. So yeah, 200 would start for Spain as well. So I think GUA is going to go for a trading post.
This is interesting from Flontier, though. He's gone straight for an 80 coin treasure. Unfortunately, lost his War Dog to it as well, which is not what you necessarily want this early into Age 1.
Yeah,
and if it was an important treasure like 90, would understand that. But 80 coin, I don't think Flontier is going to go for a market Age 1. Is this coin treasure a bit overrated by Flontier?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Having the dog is so nice as Spain. You could definitely get the H1 advantage in terms of treasures, but if you can also catch the British explorer, then you can kill him quite easily with your dog.
Wow, and even GiveUAnxiety picking up a nice 40 wood treasure, going straight for that train post. Mana in base at home without having to chop extra wood. Really nice start. Even finding 100 food treasure, so GiveUAnxiety is in paradise at the moment.
Yeah, so nice for GUA for sure. He's gonna get the pass, so he's already got his 3 villager shipment on the way.
Flontier.
Or maybe he's sorry, my bad. Perhaps he's gonna go Virginia Company or Schooners first. We never know.
Yeah, Flontier has just received his first shipment and has now sent 3 fills behind this. So nice early shipment coming in for Flontier, but same for GiveUAnxiety. That's early trading post. He did get that XP pass as well. That should have helped that first shipment come in. We'll have to see the timings of when the shipments arrive, but if GiveUAnxiety manages to get the 3 vills out before Flontier, that would be such a great start, and he does. 3 vills at 1 minute 50 from GiveUAnxiety.
Yeah, that's quite fast, to be fair. Also getting the trading post is really nice to deny any ATP play from Spain. He might still decide to go for it, but it's gonna be really tough for Flontier to siege the trading post on the top for the time being.
Oh, I've just thought of some high-level strategies here. Do you think these yaks can like form like a little yak wall around the Explorer and prevent these tigers from actually attacking the Explorer? Just like wall up with these impassable... these guys are quite big. Like, look at their obstruction radius underneath their units. It's a big oval. It kind of just surrounds the Explorer, and these tigers will just be a bit confused on what to do. Especially with a map with 6 yaks. Who knows? We could see that could be the new strategy, the yaks play.
This is when you realize AoE is not a realistic game, because the tiger would just target the yaks for sure and kill them to eat them.
But here comes the treasure still, though. GiveUAnxiety on an 80 wood treasure. Oh my god, this is such a great start for GiveUAnxiety.
Yeah, this is paradise for GUA, really. 100 food, 40 wood, denying this 80 wood, and now he's going to snare the hero as well, so Flontier cannot go for a trading post here, or he would have to train some dogs, but he doesn't have enough HP as well, so...
Just imagine if he had that dog from age 1, that dog could have helped that 80 wood treasure, could have taken it down faster, could have picked up the treasure, had more HP to fight the explorer, have 2 units. He's now been denied 80 wood. He's now being denied the trading route because he can't actually build it with his explorer. He needs to go back to his base to try and get some, I don't know, settler to push out and revive him onto the age up. But again, only having maybe 120 HP once he gets revived might not be enough to actually drop down a trading post. And it's all going wrong for Flontier.
H1.
Yeah, it's all going
That's
wrong.
How big it is. Geo is even gonna steal 20 coin in Flontier's base just for dominance.
Having a quick look at
yeah,
Frontier's
really
deck,
rough.
though, we do see 10 cards in both Age 2, Age 3, 4 crate cards in the second age, 2 caravels and a frigate. Spanish gold is available for Flontier, but we only see the cav combat in the third age. No caballeros and no hand infantry combats. Instead, choosing to go for 12 pike, 8 rod, 9 rod. So lots of shipments, not many upgrades though.
Yeah, that's true. And, let's have a look on what Geo is doing. He's going racks in base upon age up as soon as possible, and going with the food age up as well, which is really questionable on this map. Really, I would love to see a tower from Geo like getting dropped forward on the pond, and perhaps go for like a timing with 2 caravels to just deny these outposts from Spain as well.
I have to say, this is a very smart placement from GiveUAnxiety. He's just sitting on top of this Explorer. I think GiveUAnxiety is expecting Flontier to try and revive that Explorer with a War Dog on the map if it was still alive, or a Villager. So once that Explorer gets back up on his feet, can snare again and try and pick off before a train post is completed. But I think Flontier is he going to go all in at this point? Outpost is forward. GiveUAnxiety hasn't started walling up and has now sent 5 musketeers across. Flontier sends in 700 coin. Should be able to get the age up in queue before this musketeer timing comes in.
Sure, but he didn't hurt these elephants as well, and yeah, as a result of that, he didn't scout what's up behind his base, and his hunts are quite far away.
He's even sending 1 Vil out on the map to actually try and build the train post, instead of going for a revive, because if you revive Explorer and the Explorer gets snared, you can still build the train post then with your Villager, but actually having those 2 units out on the north side, the Explorer and the Villager, gives you extra bit of options. But no, Flontier's hurting. He's not actually going for the training post. It's because he hasn't scouted his other 2 hunts on the left-hand side.
Yeah, another big consequence of his start and just wasting his dog, and his hero getting caught on this wood treasure.
Flontier has not seen, on his far left-hand side of the map, 2 additional hunts and 2 additional coin mines. That is actually huge for just losing that early scouting unit.
Yeah, and Gio gonna go for the tower, so it's gonna buy Flontier a lot of time. He's dropping his racks and houses infrastructures on the back of his TC. And yeah, I mean, Gio is just playing that H2, dropped a second racks, so it doesn't go for a stable actually.
Yeah, I like the second racks play. You want to try and take down this outpost, so these musketeers have probably a better siege per cost ratio than hussars. So picking up this outpost, very nice from GiveUAnxiety. That gives GiveUAnxiety the ability to kind of send 2 caravels or a frigate into that middle pond without being picked off by the tower, and could try and snipe a falconet shipment from Spain. Spain's now about to enter the third age just behind this, but we do have 10 musketeers in the base, and it'd be a bit risky at this moment to ship falconets to the town centre. May have to open up with 5 lancers.
This would be a good call here. He's got 4 hussars as well. 5 musket, a few dog, and a 7 rodolero shipment actually. So Gio is gonna get cleaned up, but he's gonna get 2 Vils in exchange and getting a bit of idle time. But still, I mean, this push from Gio was really terrible. He just killed the tower. Should have been happy with that. And Flontier is gonna lose another Vil actually. So his eco is really terrible at the moment, but his army is stronger for sure, and he's gonna get a really good follow-up with either Lancers or Falconets or Rodel arrows or whatever.
Yeah, he's lost 3 settlers, but GiveUAnxiety has lost 14 musketeers, and that is around about 1,500, well, 1,400 resources, so certainly not a small amount. Flontier's army of musketeers, rods, hussars, still not yet challenged or picked off yet. I think Flontier's nearly about to pop a shipment as well, and actually, now that he's engaging, that shows me that a shipment is on the way and about to come out, and I'm expecting Lancers to come out first card, or maybe now that he's secured it to be Falconets, and Falconets in the field.
Oh, he's gonna snare with the dogs and Rodeleros. Ooh, getting a really nice volleys with these Falconets.
So you notice every time he takes a shot, he moves forward and tries to close that distance and tries to maximise the amount of damage those artillery pieces can do. But GiveUAnxiety now moving into the Spanish player's base with a few of these extra units, trying to raid as well, and doesn't pick up another Ville there. But look at the units lost. 34 musketeers now from GiveUAnxiety going down. But these Falconets, though, out of position actually. They need to kind of get pulled in, hopefully. His musketeers are charging forwards, and he's got to move them. Pull trick.
Yeah,
just
nice
about.
pull. He's gonna get away with that, but
you can see how Spain feels so kind of slow after no TP, losing villagers.
No TP, no 5 years. Yeah, and losing villagers. So, I mean, Flontier needs to get like a godlike trade with his Falconets if he wants to win this game, because British got more than twice the eco now. But one good thing going for Flontier at the moment, he's getting more free shots, but GiveUAnxiety doesn't have a stable, so he's just gonna try to go pure musketeers. And I mean, he's going for a musket raid, but I think you really want to defend at this point, and you know, Spain can send lancers and catch these raids like that, and it's quite effective.
Musk attack coming from the GiveUAnxiety. He's just basically got pure musketeers on the field at the moment. No longbows, no hussars. Musketeers going in the base, but actually could get a lot done, idling the entire eco, and actually will probably have enough military at home just to try and like hold out as long as possible. And then once those musketeers do join the fight, will cut off any reinforcements and cut off the retreat from Flontier.
Yeah, that's true. GiveUAnxiety is setting up his army for like some kind of trap and coming from other direction. Perhaps gonna pull back his musketeers as well. No, he's focusing on killing one villager, so he's gonna lose more musket in the process.
Flontier now losing 5 villagers in total, having an 18 Ville pop. Has actually angered one of the lions.
Oh, the lion, yeah. He's gonna get a lot of damage on this falconet.
It's not being seen.
Please kill it!
Kill it! Yeah, it's now been picked off. That falconet
so
losing,
big, like...
losing 100 HP or more, probably 120 HP from that lion. So
this is awful.
Big play
like
there.
GiveUA can just TC fire the remaining falconet.
He has 10 Vills in that TC working away on Flontier's army, and you can just see that Flontier is playing that kind of fast, classic FF strategy of pushing in with the military spike, but actually hasn't managed to accomplish much behind this, and it's actually made Flontier retreat back to his own base. And you're giving the Brit player time. This feels awkward.
Yeah, and GiveUA's gonna go in with his falconets, but never mind, he's not going for it. But the hero is just meaning the falconets getting again a bit of damage done, and I think GiveUA should stop raiding with muskets at this point and just regroup everything and try to crush a fight.
Oh, he's got time on his vantage on his side. He's now just sent a second upgrade card for his units, and if Flontier wanted to mass more into lancers, then I guess GiveUAnxiety can just add in a few extra pikemen or hussars just to try and add something to his composition. Could even go for 2 caravels in that middle pond. You can see how Flontier's kind of going backwards and forwards over this middle pass continuously to decide if he wants to push or not. 2 caravels are instantly being dropped down, and their broadside attack straight onto Falconet could pick off both these units. Like, one Falconet is very low, and that area of effect damage could actually be enough to take these guys down in one shot.
Yeah, and look at GOA's macro at the moment. I think he's gonna go for an Age up because he's got a lot of views on coin and he's banking the food to Age. But yeah, gonna waste a few musketeers here.
Couple musketeers on the left-hand side as well. Only one musk actually raiding into the base, but we'll pick up another Vil. Like, credit to GiveUAnxiety. These musketeer raids have, they're cool. They've made Flontier stay in base with his army, delayed this push, crippled his eco, and GiveUAnxiety's just happily out in the field by his TP, far coin mine, minding his own business here, and now actually getting the age up behind this. And I think once GiveUAnxiety gets to the next age, it's gonna be super tough for Flontier.
Yeah. That's for sure. He's aging at the moment. He's not getting pressured. One frigate going in for Flontier, so he's gonna have a bit of momentum securing basically this and this area. So he shouldn't get raided too much anymore. And he can also, like he's doing right now, just get some free kills with his Fox and his army and brutal execution.
I love it how these falconets cannot one-shot a villager if the villager has great coats. They stay with 2 HP remaining. Lance raids topside as well. Lance is not the greatest raiding units. 20 hand attack. These vills 20% hand resist and the extra HP as well. Actually pulling 2 villagers back just to let these guys break the snare and push out. What do we see left side? A couple of musketeers pushing in again, and Flontier may be distracted enough to get some more raiding. Another vill goes down on the very bushes, and GiveUAnxiety, we've talked about him being a very good raider, and more units going down. 8 vills now from Flontier.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Flontier, he spent the time to build the wall, but the musketeers can still go through.
And this frigate is nice for kind of like keeping your units guarded and gives Flontier a way to retreat, but actually he just hasn't got enough to really push in though, so he can retreat, but the British player's not really forcing his fight because he doesn't need to just yet. He can't push in though, and it's just more time for GiveUAnxiety. Does he have an artillery foundry down just yet? That would be very smart from Anxiety. Not just yet though, but 1 barracks at the back, veteran tech research straight away, and I'm sure 2 falconets will be the first shipments that the British player wants to send here.
Yeah, and like almost the entire Spanish eco is being garrisoned at the moment. So yeah, I guess G will send 2 Fox and then he will just win because he's got 50 muskets.
Yeah, he's keeping his army just a bit back at the moment though, but may lose a few more villagers to this. But I guess with such a Vil lead, which British player does, it just gives time for GiveUAnxiety to kind of group his forces, get that tech in. 2 falconets is the first ship coming in, and if GiveUAnxiety gets enough experience and sends another shipment now or on the way, okay, probably not now, he's already spent so much XP, and he's actually ahead of the Spanish player's XP count thanks to that train post, which doesn't happen often. I'm sure Musketeer combat will be following very soon, but he's just picked off so many actually Musketeers, guards in this falconet. It's just soon to be a right-click job from GiveUAnxiety.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Spain wins this battle. Like, GUA could delete the falconets and probably still win this.
And that Spanish frigate.
Although, that frigate could get some nice shots. Yeah. Could be a falconet snipe and maybe the second one as well.
So I suppose GiveUAnxiety just wants to back out. There's no point trying to engage a frigate with just 1 falconet. But 2 to 1, if the fight does happen, Flontier should be able to pick this falconet off, and especially if GiveUAnxiety doesn't fight back. And those falconets gone down for free there from GiveUAnxiety. Still has this massive musketeer mass though, and still raiding with more musketeers into Flontier's base.
These musketeers raids are so annoying to deal with.
Even sending a few musketeers from the main army, but getting picked off by the frigate, but still having 5 musks in base, and the town centre can only 3-shot kill these guys now due to all the upgrades in the veterancy. Frigates from GiveUAnxiety being sent to take down the Spanish player's frigate, but also wants to try and actually send another, like, some units here just to distract, because it's you can't really predict who's going to win this, but for some reason the GiveUAnxiety is already 600 HP up here, or 500.
This broadside attack, Flontier didn't.
Right, Flontier
And
unpacking
almost
his
Raid.
falconets, and I think this may be a big engagement, but you know, Rodolero is not the units you really want versus a solid musketeer mass.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, Flontier is losing more vills, he's not paying attention in his base, and I think he should just resign at this point. He's like almost 100 score behind, yeah.
Yeah, 12 vills has gone down for the Spanish player, and when the Spanish player is the civ which wants people potently aggressive, it feels very awkward when you lose more vills than your opponents, especially when you're playing Brit, who likes to expand, needs more resources, so has to push out away from the safety of the town centre. Flontier calling the GG.
Yeah.
6 start.
GG, H1. Yeah, that was pretty much game already. He couldn't TP, didn't get many treasures, he lost his dogs. That's just too much.
Look at the XP graph, and that tells you the story really, especially when you consider that Spain has a higher XP base gather income than any other civ in the game. Being down on XP versus a civ like Brit, it just feels so awkward. Most of this XP from Brit though does come from Manor House production in that second age, but you can just see how that extra training post early on in the game gave him 3 experience passes, and in terms of shipments total, follows, well, actually leads the Spanish player throughout the entire game, which is another thing you rarely see.
Yep, that's true.
And all resources gathered is just don't bother looking at it. It's terrible. So 1-1 after 2 games. Let's hop into the third game.
Yeah, this game was a bit more one-sided than the previous one. So let's hope we're gonna see closer games.
Well, Flontier is thinking right now, I've survived. Okay, not really survived the British pick, but now the British pick is out of the way, he can kind of regroup.
Good point.
And you know, he did win the Portuguese mirror at Civ, which GiveUAnxiety doesn't play too often, and it's still a very good player. But if you specialise in one Civ, then your other matches are. It's like saying that GiveUAnxiety is he's overall a lieutenant colonel in his rank at the moment. But when you're playing GiveUAnxiety playing as the Brits, he's a colonel. When you're playing GiveUAnxiety playing as Russia, he's a major, maybe even with some of his civs he's more unfamiliar with, it's even less. But GiveUAnxiety going for Germany, and to be expected from GiveUAnxiety, his other civs he seems to be relatively familiar with are India and Iroquois.
Yeah, so makes sense to lock Germany first on this map. This is a good German map overall. Let's see what Flontier decides to respond with. I think British is a really good pick versus Germany on this map. Japan as well. China is decent as well, so a few options.
Yeah, I was just checking settings because I was recently just doing some chill streams on my own personal and switching between your personal settings and ESOC settings. Sometimes things get confused, but yep, all the alerts are working. We do have that donation bar still, sitting at a very healthy $775. So it's been increasing very rapidly in the last couple of weeks, and it's been the support so far has been really appreciated, and that's not even including Zuta with his gifted subs in the chat, and that's another level of generosity there. The next map, Kamchatka. It's GiveUAnxiety to pick first. He goes to the German lock. Flontier is probably at the moment just chatting with his teammates, seeing what options he has available. He's already used Spain and Portuguese, so his favourite Spanish pick is now gone. He could French here. I think if you know a way to play it, I think French can do all right. I would still say it's German favoured, so you may want to move away from that. Other options for Flontier in civs that he has played could be a Japan pick from Flontier, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. France is definitely an option as well. I don't think it's a counter to German compared to like how powerful Japan can be on this map. But I'll just be right back in a second. I'm gonna get a drink.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, I was about to ask Lecastet a really nice question there, but I'll save it when he gets back. But well, one of the previous series that Lecastet was playing was versus Sam Wise, another strong player, really strong back in the day, but still holding his own currently now. Both players at that Brigadier level. And Lecastet, he did lose the series, but he did manage to pick up a win versus Sam Wise's French civilization as the Germans. And so picking up a game versus Sam Wise's French is certainly no mean feat. So that's why I'm hesitant that Flontier will go French on this map. He says okay. Flontier, I think, has acknowledged the German pick, but has decided to go French. And there are ways for both civs to play this.
For sure. France is not a bad pick at all on this map. You've got several advantages over German on the early game. Your TP is relatively safe, so it's not easy to pressure as Germany. You can get the sheeps quite easily with the native scout as well. Treasures in H1. All these things that France has an advantage on.
I was just saying that your previous series versus the strong opponent of Sam Wise, you managed to defeat Sam Wise's French pick.
Don't remind me this series, please.
No, but that individual game though was really well played, and it's making me a bit concerned here for Flontier that if Flontier is thinking the French is a counter, it's probably an even matchup at best for the French, I would say.
Yeah, I think on this map it's quite even.
Right, into game number 3. The score current between both players is 1-1. We have Flontier representing the SKGs spawning into the north of the map as the French pick. GiveUAnxiety is spawning into the southeast of the map as the Germans. And so, even matchup both players. Would create start though, and I have to say, would create start. That's going to have to favour the Germans early age 1 already.
Yeah, that's definitely good for both, actually. Both having food plus wood start. So Geo is going to go for TP in base, but on the other hand, Flontier is going to go with the middle TP. Interesting choice. There's also a wood treasure nearby, so yeah, he will have to gather 40 less wood in order to build his house behind it. So already a small victory for France, and yeah, that's what I was mentioning, like having this native scout. He's already got 4 sheeps, and the information of getting this 40 wood treasure helps a lot.
Yeah, I think Flontier would have actually prepared for this. The normal play would try to go for that top trading post, and actually getting this trading post up in time, it should be achievable. You should be getting that first XP pass right about now, but it's not enough to get that first shipment in at that point. So has elected to go for the middle TP, go for map control, deny GiveUAnxiety the option for a second trading post, and there's quite often some big treasures in the middle like that 90 wood. Only the 40 wood and the 80 food spawn, but Flontier out in the map is very, very beneficial. Kilokrites donating $25 again. Had to make it an even number. Don't judge my OCD. And he's that generous donation has bumped up the donation to 800 and 0 cents, shall I say? So round numbers, please, guys. Let's not break this perfectly symmetrical number.
Yeah. Oh, another nice pickup from Flontier, 85 wood.
You can see how GiveUAnxiety has kind of ran around the entire left-hand side of the map with his Explorer. Still has not really scouted the middle part. He cut through the middle part very briefly. But in terms of treasures so far from GiveUAnxiety, he's only picked up the macaque and 30 coin. The macaque is nice to help the German player with scouting. He definitely needs it, but 50 XP by 2 macaques could pick it up. He's trying to go back for this 75 food, and there's a 75 food and 80 food nearby, both guarded by 2 snow leopards. But Flontier is well positioned to actually going for the snipe. He would have that crack shot available. GiveUAnxiety is working in. He's actually taking that shot onto the Explorer, but now he's closer. This could be a nice pickup. Is he going to go for it? It's be a treasure contention nevertheless. He's close. I think that's GiveUAnxiety's.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't melee it, so yeah. I mean, he could have killed GUA's hero and denied his scouting potential, but he didn't, so GU is gonna get away with that, but
It's okay though, you got Freitag, the pet macaque with the 5.0 speed, just chasing down this Explorer, but I think Flontier, if he wants...
GiveUA showing his mechanics with the sick ball trick.
I can just imagine he's going to be feeling so hyped when he pulls this Explorer, even by enough time to turn around and get a shot off the macaque. This is high level, top level, pro level, 6 skills coming from GiveUA. But
he's even TC firing the native scout. Oh, good pickup. He idled Settler Wagon though, which is not optimal, but still worth killing this native scout, I think.
I have to say, like, pulling the trick from the macaque was a bit of fun, but that actual native pickup in base, really, really nice from the German player. That native scout is so pivotal just to try and find where those early raiding Ulans are going, what kind of composition is being trained, and just try and give you that advanced scouting knowledge. But losing a native scout, there's no reason to run through the German player's base at this point in the game, because you know what's happening. Chopping wood for a market, won't be getting a second training post in this instance. Just losing that scout for free is gonna hurt.
We have an interesting build from Flontier here, because he's researching in Team Dogs right now, and he didn't chop any wood for steel traps. So I think he's gonna skip steel traps for the time being, and he's got 20 out of 20. So he's either going 3 Hussars.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's 3 Hussar first.
What does he have in queue? 1 Vil. I think he's gonna go 3 Huss, yeah.
Well, he's currently got 14 Vils out on the field, so 1 Vil pop in. That could be still 3 Hussar first card. That's 6 population. That might have idled Flontier's actual unit production there, and then because he aged up with the 14 Vils. I suppose he can overpop 21 out.
Oh yeah, you're actually right, because GiveUA forgot to drop a house, so he's not training Cav right now. So at best, you will have to defend with TC Fire and the first 2 or 3 Ulans.
But yeah, 3 Hussars actually into German town centre with 2 free Ulans. It feels a bit...
This table placement is like blocking the coal mine, and we might see some pathing issues for GiveUA here. He's gonna punish with a few Vils, but he's gonna lose his first 2 Ulans, and yeah, he didn't train units as soon as possible, so he's not gonna have the Ulan popping in time, and he might lose a Settler Wagon here. No, he wants good Vel control.
But there's another 5 Hussars going straight in because Flontier dropped down that stable. He saved those resources from the steel traps not being researched. And now with 5 Hussars on the field, the 3 Hussars were nice to kind of disrupt what GiveUAnxiety was doing. But 5 Hussars is that kind of substance he needs. And only getting a couple of Ulans out that pop. And yeah, 2 from the stable, 2 from the shipments. And again, Flontier has taken a decent engagement versus the Ulans, and more of these units will be idled. You can see Flontier is trying to find that low HP Settler Wagon, but it's not on show here for GiveUAnxiety. Safely tucked up in the town centre, and there is 120 HP.
So yeah, decent defense from GiveUAnxiety. Could have been even better if he was able to queue his Cav as soon as possible, so he would get his first Ulan batch wouldn't have been 3, but like more 4 or perhaps 5 if he skips steel traps, so he should definitely be able to get 5, even if French is going 3 house like that.
Another reinforcing batch of 5 Hussars going straight into that base, and where's that Settler Wagon? It's actually getting picked off!
Oh,
that low Settler Wagon's gone down! Minutemen being called, 700 coin being sent. Another Ulan's going down, but Ulan's snaring just to try and make these Minutemen pay off, and I think they've done a decent job in terms of getting resource value out of the Minutemen. But that Settler Wagon going down, really nice pickup there from Flontier. He'd be very happy with that pickup.
Yeah, definitely. Usually in this matchup, it's German has the upper hand in the Cav war, so they put the pressure. But here, yeah, here France was able to put a lot of pressure, getting some idle time, killing 1 Settler Wagon as well, and picking up pretty much every Cav German made so far. So pretty good start for France.
Oh wow, 2 Hussars raid into the south side. 5 Hussars coming to the north. These Minutemen, we'll see, and maybe have to turn around, but it looks like Flontier is going to go for the engagement here, trying to distract GiveUAnxiety, but 2 Huss going into the base as well. Could even pick up another Vil.
Yeah, he needs to commit with his house though, because these low HP Mintmen are getting a lot of value. But as you were mentioning, he's getting a good rate at the same time. So
One Ville going down there in base. Again, idling even more those settler wagons as well. And it's
so he's gonna
certainly...
kill another Veal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. So that's one settler wagon and 2 Veals so far.
He just needs to turn around on his Uhlans, and GiveUAnxiety was lucky to pull those Uhlans out the way there. He would have melted to 6 Hussars in hand-to-hand combat. Those Minutemen are coming, but it just takes one Hussar in that trample mode to do some multi-kills and pick off maybe 3 or 4 Minutemen at a time.
Yeah, and now we get to see France aging before Germany with more cav remaining on the field. And I mean, this is pretty much how good you want your 3-house build to go.
Yeah, it's certainly... I think because as well it's GiveUAnxiety is playing the Germans and not as well drilled in and practice and rehearse as the British play. We saw how he played that Daka game was very crisp and just very... there wasn't very many things to pick up, and it just seemed everything was so smooth. But this game wasn't expecting the early 3 Hussars from Flontier, and you see that stable placement you're talking about. Getting house as well as Germany. So you couldn't get those Uhlans in queue, and Flontier's capitalised on that Civ unfamiliarity, even sending a settler wagon forward to do some herding instead of a regular Vil.
I hate seeing that. Yeah. But well, it's definitely still a game. Good start for French, but German has powerful options in H3, so we'll see how that go. Geo is going for a raid, or maybe just scouting mid-map what's going on, but
hopefully he's paying attention, because
yeah.
these Hussars could get a nice pickup, and they have scouted the Uhlans. Uhlans having to run away, but they're going to pass back to the his side of the river, so no raiding action getting done there from GiveUAnxiety, but managing to keep those Uhlans alive. One musketeer was trained from the barracks and just stationed in the trees as a nice little scout and hiding, waiting for a German army to turn up, but actually he's making...
5 Dragoons first of France, quite aggressive actually. And I think I like that he decided the tempo of the game so far with 3 Huss and early aggression. And I mean, Gio is going for 8 skirmishers, but like 6 Huss and the Dragoons will just counter these 8 skirmisher shipments from GiveUAnxiety. Oh, he's got the snare as well.
Yeah, actually a really nice split for those Dragoons there, spreading out the damage on all those Uhlans, not going down, but now with these 5 Hussars remaining and a large mass of Dragoons, this early batch of Uhlans going to get picked off. No veterancy upgrade just yet. 8 skirmishers first card here from GiveUAnxiety. But those war wagons...
Unfortunately, Flontier didn't go for the trade like as soon as possible, so GOA was able to get a batch of war wagons out, and also the unit control was just so much better from GOA. He killed pretty much all the SRs quite effectively early on.
Yeah, and those Minutemen still alive, all 6 of them, providing a bit of range damage.
Impressive.
And, those Minutemen were able to take off a lot of HP from the Hussars, but once those 3 war wagons came out, that was just enough to take down those units. And then with Flontier not having any more hand cavalry to deal with the skirmishers, very wisely decided to pull back out there. I think some less experienced players may have overcommitted at that point.
I like this move from Flontier. He knows who he's playing versus, he knows the GOA raids, like, no matter what. So he's just constantly patrolling with a few goons, and it's going to pay off. He's just going to kill 2 Uhlans out of that, and really rewarding play from Flontier.
Oh, so 2 Uhlans going down left-hand side. Is GiveUAnxiety going to double down and go for a raid on the right side? You sure bet he is. 3 Uhlans charging across that river crossing. We'll get scouted by the house, but Dragoons are not too far nearby. These CDBs do have their greatcoats on as well, so I'm not expecting GiveUAnxiety to pick up a Vil kill here. And if he does,
because he's pushing and distracting French at the same time, and yeah, you see, oh, Flontier, good reaction time from him, so he's gonna kill a few Uhlans here.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of dropping down houses when you're hunting and mining. The houses provide a nice line of sight, and that's just the difference between seeing those Uhlans and picking them up, or not seeing them and losing 2, 3, 4 Vils as a result.
And yeah, and that's why raiding when the situation is kind of a stealth mate is quite bad, because both players are aware of their macro and you need movement because usually you have your army in your base protecting your resources. So yeah, raiding is quite ineffective in these situations.
What do you think of GiveUAnxiety going 8 skirmisher, 7 skirmisher in this case? I feel that didn't maybe not need the 7 skirmisher. I guess the skirmishers do counter exactly what Flontier is doing. I don't know. It just feels a bit. I'm not. I'd rather see maybe a 3 war wagon shipment just to really bolster that war wagon count.
Yeah, or 9 Ulan, but that's how GUA plays Germany usually. He goes really heavy on skirm or wagon and he raids with his 3 cav, while some other players might decide to raid a bit less and take veteran Ulan and go more heavy on Ulans. But
Yeah,
this is also fine, I guess.
You nuked Samwise with the 9 Ulan and 5 Ulans being trained and pushed in with 14 vet Ulans.
Yeah, it's usually quite good when France is going pure skirm gun early H3, so you can get like really scary Ulan's timing, but then you need to not raid too much because you just might lose some cav. Yeah.
As he mentioned, like he's raiding during that like moment of downtime, and like if there was an engagement, then I think you'd have said that raid would have been a good idea. But a bit of downtime, I think GiveUAnxiety kind of realizes, and he just needs to protect his resources as well. He's having to push out for his silver mine on the right hand side. Flontier is also out on the map on his silver mine right side. Does have a Dragoon checking his coin mines to the south. Really nice from Flontier. Flontier knows exactly where the German eco is at the moment.
Yeah, there's no veil on this gold mine at this point, and it's 15 minutes, so there's 100% chance that GU is mining over here.
Oh, I think GiveUAnxiety might be trapped here if those skirmishers moving a little bit further and try and just kind of zone off.
Yeah, and now it's a situation where Germany is going skirm war versus France, but France has to falconet, so they just win this kind of trades.
And look how he's positioned right next to this cliff as well. There's not many units to flank. Lots of Dragoons taking down his war wagons. A big volley from the falconets off into that tight skirm mass, and GiveUAnxiety is hightailing it out of there. He knows he can't engage in that choke point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely can't, and he AFK'd some Ulans on the top as well, so they're just gonna die.
Yeah, so Morton's going down for GiveUAnxiety there, and Flontier has yet to lose a single. I just need to quickly check. Yeah, yet to lose a single CDB. So Flontier has been on top of his villager defense, and that's probably been the star player of the match so far. It's just keeping that eco intact versus GiveUAnxiety flinging Ulans left, right, and centre, and that's really hurting GiveUAnxiety's military population at the moment, 87 to 63.
Yeah. So yeah, it's looking quite good for France. Got more army, got more eco. He doesn't need to push. He should just defend his resources, and that's what he's doing on the right side. These fields are quite exposed actually, and that could be a target for the Ulans if GiveUAnxiety decides to go for it. But he's going 1k coin at the moment.
1k coin though is a very nice shipment. It also gives you that 3 Ulans as well. I think quite a lot of players forget the 3 Ulans with the 1k coin option, and it's certainly much more of a cost-effective shipment than 9 Ulan or 8 Ulans. But GiveUAnxiety will need the time to spend those resources, and he's currently looking a little bit housed. Only 10 pop space remaining, and many resources to still yet to be spent and trained into units at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. France is so far ahead in military at this point, and how does GOA plans on killing the falconets? Does he have an artillery foundry somewhere with the 1k coin? No, doesn't look like it. So
GiveUAnxiety still on a single barracks and a single stable at this point. But yeah, now pushing on these war wagons. War wagons sitting a little bit forward, and should be some good volleys here. These skirmishers are one-shotting these war wagons. Slight raid left side, but no, it's just the Explorer and the Minutemen picked off by those 2 Dragoons. So Flontier again on top of that villager defense, and a couple of villagers going down here from GiveUAnxiety, and GiveUAnxiety's military is backing off. He can't defend this, and actually if Flontier tries to take on these villagers, he can get even more pickups.
yes, if Flontier is denying this gold mine, so for sure the villas will go over here and on the sides as well. And
Yeah,
Flontier is aware of that. So.
Yeah, that coin mine on top side is scouted, and we do see 2 QSS instantly in queue now from Flontier. Flontier is queuing up that QSS switch and may actually want to not over push in just yet, and I think he feels that he's got GiveUAnxiety trapped. GiveUAnxiety can only redefend 1 coin mine at a time, with 5 QSS about to pop out.
GiveUA doesn't really know what to do, where to go. Does he go for denying these resources and securing this coin mine, or is he going to try to defend these villagers? And yeah, he's going to try to defend the villagers, but the French army is here to just cut any difference coming from the German player. So
Falconets as well, really nice protected. There's not many Ulans on the field from GiveUAnxiety to pick them off, so is going to win the skirm war, can pick off his war wagons, and where those QSS, they've just been trained and they're going to the south coin mine instead of the coin mine on the far east of the map.
Yeah, and this is the situation where GiveUA should actually send his cav to raid for once, because he knows the French army is on his side and these villas are exposed on the top right, but yet the QS are going to go for the coin mine. And
look at where the war wagons are, they're on the opposite side of the map.
Wow, so that could be the GG raid, really. He's going to split some QS to come with his main army, which I like a lot, actually. And just use 2 to harass and force the German player to go defend. But GiveUA might get a good position and get the Falconets here.
Yeah, he needs to do something, because 3 QSS are coming behind. So the Dragoons now train off of the war wagons. Skirmishers engaging, 1 Falconet picking off another 2 skirmishers. What happens to those villagers on the top side? I think they got away from those 2 QSS, but 3 QSS are joining the engagement here.
Oh, Jaggers, but there's like 2 plus 3 cures coming here, and the Falconet is still alive, and there's no war wagon to protect them, so definitely going to be a good trade for Flontier. And
oh wow, yes, and even the war wagons now are basically on the wrong side of the army where they want to be, and they're now committing, fighting off versus goons with the cav combat and the range resist. So good trade there from Flontier.
Yeah, wow.
Flontier pinning in the skirmishers in the base, and then another large batch of QSS. If it's not GG on the army, then those QSS are going to go straight onto a coin mine, and that will definitely be the end of GiveUAnxiety's game. And the score's not looking great, and there's the resign.
Yeah, GG, really well played by Flontier.
That early game though from Flontier, 3 Hussars, first card in the second age, certainly not a standard play, and that's the type of play which you can catch your opponent off guard, and especially if they're not familiar with the civ they're playing with.
Yeah, that's a good cheese for sure. You can do that if you go 12-10 or 13 age up. On 14 age up, I don't think it's really efficient, but here it worked quite well.
Yeah, well, Flontier aged up with the 13 vills, got to that second age before. Yeah, got to the second age just before the German player, but he may have had a bit of idle time actually, because he did have to go for that trading post early age 1 and then chop the wood for the house. But he did get that 40 wood treasure and those goats, you know, all those goats being picked up. I assume those goats have been eaten back at base, and that could have given Flontier that kind of push into the second age that he needed.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we were mentioning at the beginning of the game. Like, French's advantages on this map is getting the livestock, more information about the treasures, etc. And all these things allowed Flontier to go for a different opening, and yeah, just really rewarding for him.
That military unit population, it tracks relatively even, but you can see how all the Ulans from GiveUAnxiety get picked off as soon as they're made at home, and that was picking off those 2 Ulans from the 3 set of wagons, the 2 Ulans from the 700 wood, 2 from the stable as well, and those Minutemen, I guess they did pay off so well for GiveUAnxiety, and then those Hussars getting trapped early in age 2 for Flontier, and at that point it looks like kind of GiveUAnxiety just had enough time to kind of break out and, you know, push on the map for those resources, but Flontier is going skirm goon and then just got that really good raid in, or defending the raids throughout the match, but then that engagement top right with the cliff, falconets and skirmishers, and that kind of set the tone.
Yeah, it's true. So the next map is going to be Manchuria, and I think Flontier has to pick first, and there's a safe reset as well.
GiveUAnxiety to be very happy for that. He can bring out his British play once again, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's saving the British pick for Bering Strait. I don't think I don't think Flontier has played Aztecs so far in this tournament, but I know that Aztecs have been doing relatively well versus British players so far in this new kind of 2 War Hut meta time. But Flontier going for the Germany pick. Good pick on this map as well. Similar properties to what Kamchatka offers. Sometimes though, you do get that safe 5k gold mine on your side of the map near the edge of the map.
Yeah, that's true. So Flontier is going for Germany on this map, and GeoE is counterpicking with British.
I'd be interested in how GiveUAnxiety wants to play this. I'm not too sure whether you kind of want to go for a pike defense here or a musketeer defense, while you're trying to kind of stabilize in the second stage, defend from German pressure, and then I assume you do want to follow up to the Fortress Age, and trying to get that Fortress Age in a timely manner is a very key component here. But I will let GiveUAnxiety, the experts, the pro, the amazing, the knowledgeable, show us how this matchup is played. I'm going to take a very brief break before we get into game number 4. Let's go with 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure. No worries. It's quite a standard matchup again, 2 Erosive. Germany versus British on Manchuria. We will have to take a look at the map spawn, because sometimes one player have more food than the other, and it could be quite tricky, especially for Brits, so we'll have a look on that. 2 different spawns. A spawn with the 3 TP line on the top left-hand side of the map, and another spawn with 2 TP being relatively safer behind your TC and on the north and south of the map. Potential to go water as well. Usually we see British being more familiar with water build orders than Germany, but there are some different options, so we'll see what players decides to do. Let's have a quick look on the chat. Everybody saying there goes the 4-1 prediction for GiveUA. Yeah, Flontier leading 2-1 at the moment, but nothing is done just yet.
Yes.
Right, I am back, and let us hop into the next game.
Yeah, game number 4.
So Flontier playing as Germans, GiveUAnxiety as the British. They're happy with that matchup. And again, Flontier currently 2-1 up, and GiveUAnxiety was giving that smack beforehand, suggesting that Flontier is overrated. But actually, Flontier is showing GiveUAnxiety why it is wrong to underestimate him, and he's actually been putting in some really good performances in his victories.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut Flontier and say that there's 2 kind of people on this earth, who the one who have a big badge and the one who don't.
Really nice map for Flontier, actually. Both players having fought nearby hunts, but the other hunts are slightly looking in favour for Flontier. But when you get to the 5th and 6th, at that point, it doesn't really matter. The hunts would probably walked away at that point. Both players in base gold mines, and we do have that. Only silver mines on their kind of defensive side, with only 1 juicy gold mine in the center near the Shaolin Temple in the kind of central north side. So this is going to be a really big, important place of contention here for Flontier.
It's being a bit closer to the German side, which is never mind, from the British side. So a bit painful for German, but let's see what they decide to do. Market for GiveUAnxiety, market for Flontier. And GeoE is gonna get a nice 40 wood. He didn't crash on it. Perhaps his man is crashed on something else.
Flontier is currently working on this nice 90 wood treasure as well, though. Could have kited slightly bit better, but actually, now that he's quickly picked off that lion, he just wants to secure this wood treasure. 90 wood is just so nice, just to kind of have it in your bank, ready to be used in that transition. Flontier is happy to give up 150 HP for this.
for sure. It's in the middle of the map and it's 1 minute 30, so you definitely don't want to take too many risks in this situation.
GiveUAnxiety scouting out these 2 yaks to the south side. There's still these 2 yaks in the middle of the map which are yet to be picked up, and whoever comes across this map treasure here will be very, very, very happy. Nice big wood treasure on the left hand side. 85 wood on Flontier side of the map. And is there a final wood treasure on this map? Yes, there is. 85 wood down on this side as well. So both players having a relatively safe 85 wood, but it's not in base. Both players can go for it. And yes, that was the other 85 location.
Yes, Germany scouted it, but decides not to go for it, and I like this decision. He's going for a food treasure instead, which is questionable to be fair, because he's already half HP and
he has scouted that wood treasure on his side as well, so maybe he's just conscious that his food count at the moment is not great. But looking at his villagers, it looks like he's got some very good herd in age 1. And it looks like he's just going to herd these Marco Polo sheep just before these 2 settler wagons get popped out, and these guys can go straight to work. So nice, efficient play from Flontier. 75 food picked up, and enough HP if he wants to kind of crack shot one of these tigers and start building his training post before finishing the kill in transition.
yeah, smart thing to do. Like the treasure is such in a corner spot that you can be quite safe about just crack shotting one, building your trading post, and then crack shotting the other later on.
But Flontier, though, going for another 40 food treasures, and I suppose in total, 75 plus 40, 115. That's a free gang saw for German player, and that should help him go for more wood. Not going for it just yet. Looks like he wants to get enough food to queue up the 18th villager. Still hunting quite a bit of food at the moment, so you've still got another 5 villagers in base going for it. Obviously, you need the food for the placer mines upgrade, which he really wants. So hopefully he doesn't gather too much more food.
Yeah, good point actually. You want usually more veils on wood than just like 2 or 3 veils herding on the map, but I guess it's fine as well. Does he have placer mines in queue already?
It's queued up now, and he still has that 100 food remaining, but he's already got that 18th vill in queue, so he's just got 100 food, essentially at this moment being idled. On this specific spawn of Manchuria, though, 2 TPs on your side of the map. It's not that 3 TP kind of shared route, but Flontier is pushing forward with his Explorer, but you still have that 85 wood treasure, and you still have that second train post, which you could kind of sneak up with the woods on age up, or maybe go for an early 700 woods play. He's going for a scouting option instead, and I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah, that's true. Both the options are fine. If you have a look on Flontier's deck, to be fair, he's got quite a few industrial cards, so that could be an option. But he's also got all the standard cards you've got in H3, so perhaps a bit of a mind game here. Regarding his macro, we'll see if Flontier decides to drop a military building here and perhaps go for stay one, which is the standard option. Or no, he's gonna go back with his hero and just go for the second training post. So perhaps stagecoach play.
How is he going to build that? His Explorer's going the other way again. This feels so awkward from Flontier. Like, if he wants to build it and his Explorer's nearby, he could already start rebuilding it and start researching the stagecoach. He's actually cancelled that TP for the time being. I think he wants to go for the stagecoach first, get that tech in queue, and then build that trade post, because it takes a while. It takes minutes to research.
But then he needs to buy 100 wood to build these other training posts, and he doesn't have Seal Trap as well. So perhaps he's gonna wait for 700 wood for the stagecoach, or maybe not. It doesn't have any military building as well, so this is definitely gonna be a straight FF with 700 wood.
But you did mention Flontier's card choice in Age 4, possible fast industrial play here, and choosing to include the 13 Uhlans over the 6 settler wagons. I believe 13 Uhlans is the best Uhlan shipment you can get. No Lipnaza cavalry though, the 4th age. That's a great Uhlan upgrade. 25% combat for your Uhlans specifically, but it does have the 10 Polish winged hussars, or the Polish wings. I don't know if it's Polish or Polish, because they both make sense. I need to find that out. Heavy cannons and the factories available.
I cannot really help you with pronunciation.
Well, like I say, so the polished winged would be, it could be just referring to these guys have just been really shining their medals just to show that they are part of the winged squadron, or they could be Polish and then winged hussars. I just don't know.
Oh, yeah, I get what you mean. Both make sense, actually. You're right. But yeah, Flontier being quite close to age, so it's gonna be pretty good age up time, I think. Considering you went 2 TPs, but no steel traps, so I don't know what I would rather go for. I think Stagecoach is just much better.
Yeah, I think on this map, Stagecoach is just it's one of those you always go for it. Just like on the RE Patagonia days, you always guarantee that kind of 3 TP line behind your base. It always felt just a smart decision was to always go for that 3 trading post play each game. And Flontier now with those 2 TPs working for him, getting up the naked fast fortress with the 3 set wagon, 700 woods, and correctly not sending 700 coin in this instance. If you can kind of send the 700 wood instead, stable being dropped down now, and with a really good eco behind of that Stagecoach. GiveUAnxiety playing as the British player, Stagecoach is not necessarily his first thoughts when you have manor houses available, and I think Flontier is in a really good position, and Flontier could even go for 1,000 coin first card here, and he's got most of his bills on food.
I think he's gonna go for an FI, and that's definitely a good call versus this build from GiveUA. GiveUA skipped the 700 coin for 5 villagers instead, so it's gonna be a bit greedier, but the eco is just similar at this point because Germany got Stagecoach and British doesn't. But he's adding a trading post now, so you might go for it. Oh, good pick up here.
So one Vil going down there for GiveUAnxiety, but I actually thought if GiveUAnxiety could kept that Vil alive, picking up these 2 Ulans also very nice. So even trade, I'd say, between the 2 players, especially when GiveUAnxiety has a larger eco than the German player at this point, or soon to be. He's currently working on that Stagecoach from that 600 wood shipment.
He's gonna have to stable out of it, which is also really good. 1k coin for Germany, gonna get this industrial in queue. He overgathered a bit of coin and he didn't eat the yaks just yet, so he's gonna train 1 more villager out of that, I think. It's gonna slow him down a bit, but nothing too painful.
And with that TP line, you can always set these guys to a wood or coin later. You could just afford to buy maybe 200 food, and that's what we see from Flontier, is just buying a little bit of food to get that in queue. And the last time we saw a German FI was actually from GiveUAnxiety's older brother, Soldier, in his previous series in week number 3 versus Lucas's China play. And actually, Soldier's fast industrial as Germans appear to be very, very strong. Let's see what Flontier's aging up with.
It worked quite well because Lucas was going for iron troops.
Yeah, those heavy cannons absolutely wrecked them.
Stable treasure. That could be a good addition for Germany, or that could even have been something to go for early H2, and just not dropping a stable at all. But yeah, GiveUA is just messing, and Germany is aging at the moment, and I feel GiveUA will not recognize what's up just in time to falconet, but is he gonna push with that just yet? I mean, GiveUA would have to go now if he wants to do some damage, but he's just happy with defending and get his eco lead rolling so far. So
I really like the aging up with the engineer politician in this instance. You know that GiveUAnxiety likes to go musk heavy quite often, and those falconets should be able to buy enough time to call heavy cannons if you're under pressure, or go for other shipments like the factories. GiveUAnxiety now in the 3rd age, pushing out with musketeer heavy army, 2 falconets as well available, and Flontier with 2 shipments.
Gonna push, but
Flontier's got 2 shipments, so he can go heavy cannons and a factory and kind of be safe and be going for the eco as well. So he's now scouting, really nice from Flontier actually, scouting where the army is. He might have seen the falconets, but he certainly sees all these musketeers going towards Flontier's base. I
mean, GiveUA got nothing, right? He's got 7 Haas, 15 Musk and 2 Fox. I think like 2 heavy cannons and another small batch of a wagon, and he just cleaned up, right?
Yeah, because as well as the 2 Falconets, like a 2 Falconet versus 2 Falconets tough. 2 Falconets into 2 heavy cannons is hopeless.
Heavy cannons, yeah.
And then 2 Falconets into 2 Falconets and 2 heavy cannons is just disaster.
Good call from GOA going for an artillery foundry here, but I hope Flontier is following that with like winged hussars. Oh, he's gonna catch the longbows for free as well. Oh, and GOA is going 5 horse, and that's not what you want here. You definitely want to go for like 1k coin and make coves out of that. And
yeah, and Frontier's been massing war wagons. I think he's going to do the same strategy as what Soldier was going, and that was heavy cannons in and guard war wagons. The war wagon count's looking a little thin on the ground so far, but another batch of war wagons, and here come the winged hussars as well. So
yeah,
a real strong push here.
Spike. If he can take veteran Yulon as well, that would be a good addition to his composition. And I mean, this is scary timing, right? You're not gonna hold that with Musk horse, right? You need like culverins and.
And usually we would say that like other units are just a distraction so that the Uhlans can do the damage, but at this point actually the Uhlans are the distraction, and these winged hussars, 45 hand attack, 480 HP, and he could even pull the cannons along. I think he should be trying to drag the cannons with him because he's got entire cavalry in one control group, R3 in the second, and GiveUAnxiety, he must be a bit worried at this point because there's 4 artillery pieces and he's got infantry heavy army. Culverins do come out though. Only 2 culverins though. 3 would have been ideal versus the heavy cannons.
Yeah. Ooh, Flontier is gonna decide to go in these culverins. He's gonna lose 1 heavy cannon, but he will kill the culverins eventually. No, one gonna survive.
But that heavy cannon though is on near enough full HP in it, with only 1 culverin doing some damage. It'll take a while for that to go down, and still heavy cannon doing massive volleys there.
Big volley here for the German player. 1 heavy cannon still up, and he's gonna clean more musketeers. And does he have much cav remaining on the field? Not really, so I don't know. This was probably a good trade for British after all, because he managed to clean up. Like, it's a really scary push, but.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, one thing for Flontier though, he's made certain that GiveUAnxiety is kind of stuck in that 3rd age, and he can kind of follow up with the factories afterwards to try and eke that technically. But I was a bit concerned that Flontier went in there without going for guard war wagon. Guard war wagons coming in now at this point, and actually
he's going for them now.
Yeah, you spent the winged hussar shipments without adequate supporting units, and those winged hussars went down very, very quickly to these musketeers in melee, which, you know, musketeers only veterancy, but enough of these guys were on the field to deal with those 10 guard hussars, and now it feels like GiveUAnxiety has a window to push out and try and cause some damage, but Flontier, he needs to wait for those 2 factories to kind of get set up, and then I think he should be fine.
Oh, big pick up from Flontier here. I was quickly reading the chat, and like everybody was like, "How is GOA gonna hold that?" And like, he can't, and well, he just did.
It's just GOA, the best player to grace the Age of Empires 3 scene, obviously. What can I say? Get the GOA hype going, get the 115s going.
Factories going on for Germany, and I mean, I think you should just take veteran Yulon and ship 13 next and just go, right? Because GOA is massing longbows at this point, and he still has 2 cannons, but like he's not gonna beat H4 wagons and Uhlans with what he's got right now. So
what Soldier did was go for the faster training heavy cannons and then go into heavy cannon production. He's now changed his single factory onto the heavy cannons. Hopefully he's not planning to research heavy cannon production speed fast now, because it actually won't affect that first units being trained from the factory. And another large batch of guard war wagons. It looks like Frontier's been watching that game back, and he knows how strong it is. Nice Ulan raid topside. Again, only colonial Ulans though. It feels like at this point of the game, and you have wood available. Veteran Ulans, a good call, but I suppose that's what happens when you're trying to mass war wagons off a single stable.
Yeah, that's true. Good split by Flontier is gonna save 2 Ulans and a half. But yes, second factory going in, and I mean, British army is like really growing right now. He's got Jay got 64 vills, and look at that, it's just dropping a dock with 4 villagers.
Yeah,
Second
GiveUAnxiety
dock.
is always transitions to the water during the later parts of the game. Never goes for water early as the British, but on Manchuria, there is a water
It's a
potential.
good call.
It's
It's a good
quite
call for sure.
it's certainly safe to gather on the water away from the war wagons and heavy cannons.
I guess Joe is gonna try to go for the long game. He's starting to wall as well to protect his units. And yeah, good raid going in for. What the hell is going on? That's a lot of villagers to build a wall. Never mind. Flontier decided to go back. So yeah, heavy cannons going in for Flontier. Perhaps a second one soon to come.
Oh my god! Do you know what the first thing that GiveUAnxiety is doing from the docks? He's researching gill nets.
Greed is good, boys. Greed is good. Schooners.
Yeah, waiting for schooners, I think, and then you'll just see all these units coming out. And
Is it really relevant at this point? Like, he's definitely got the eco to spam from 2 docks hidden with schooners, and it could just go like Cav Combat or something more useful instead.
okay, you see, it's a couple of these settler wagons are pushing out onto the next coin mine. The Explorer is nearby, and the Explorer just have that sharpshooter attack in the 4th age and can pick off enemy units. GiveUAnxiety with the Great Wall across Manchuria, and I think Manchuria is based in China as well. So here comes the Great Wall of China, and what can I say? It's going to very briefly hold back the German army for a little bit, but with this much siege coming in from behind and factories on heavy cannon production.
Big raid.
At the moment, though, Flontier does not have the faster heavy cannons, and that is a huge mistake from him so far because the faster heavy cannons is so worth it once you get to that research in. I think it's 2 minutes without, and then a minute 30 or minute 20 with that tech being researched, and it pays off so quickly. And it's the heavy cannons are such an important part of this composition. That's what he needs to deal with the longbows. You can try and do everything else with the war wagons, the dragoons, the falconets, the musketeers. Even going for I think an arsenal here is very important from Flontier because he needs that range on the war wagons just to pick off extra units which those heavy cannons struggle with, i.e. maybe pushing in a little bit too far and going for the cold for in snipe. And GiveUAnxiety, this is a smart play, going for the middle coin mine, 5k, and actually walling it in as well. Flontier, 13 Ulans.
30 Ulan, oh, that's a good call for Flontier. He has to make something happen there because Geo is booming on water and he's just going to spam walls and try to drag this game for as long as possible and try to win with the superior eco and late game. So 30 Ulan, taking him the guard upgrade as well, and this is going to be a massive power spike. 3 heavy cannons and H4 units for Flontier.
Do you wait for Cav Combat at this point because it basically boosts your entire army at this point? You do have 3 heavy cannons, but you have like 90 population of cavalry. He's pushing on the coal mine now. He's identified where he needs to push and what he wants to do at this point, so you just see him moving towards this north side. A raid in on the villagers as well, and these are Zapka Ulans. These are very strong, 59 hand attack, and should be able to get at least a 4-shot kill on these villagers with their great coats protecting, but enough dragoons to stop that raid. But at this point,
definitely a good move from Flontier. To answer your question about Cav Combat, I don't think he has time to wait for it because he just sent 13 Ulan, so it's gonna take a good 2 minutes before he gets another shipment. So I definitely want to get something done before. And I mean, this army is so scary for what British has at the moment, and like British need like 70 goons to beat that. So.
Another 2 Zapka Ulan raids moving to the top side. We'll pick up a couple of vills and we'll just basically, GiveUAnxiety can't defend it. He's turning up his base with his artillery support. And I think this is a good opportunity for Flontier to try and actually pick up some of these idle vills. And GiveUAnxiety now in his base on mills and gathering wood, dropping down a plantation as well. But there's so many wells on Manchuria. But look at this eco play from GiveUAnxiety in the water. That schooners though, pumping out fishing boats very quick.
Yeah, that's for sure. Geo is setting up for the long game, and I think that's a good call. To be fair, has to wait for as long as possible, but he does only have one TC. He's max popped at the moment, so the only thing he can really do is research upgrades or age up at this point. But yeah, as you were mentioning, 2 heavy cannons being left behind.
No more. That faster training tech was never actually researched from Flontier, so he's still working away on slow train units. But currently at 192, 200 population, GiveUAnxiety also at a very high population as well, 200, 200. But when he gets to 200, 200, guard units defeat veteran units quite convincingly, and GiveUAnxiety is actually now looking to age up. But will he have enough time?
Not, but yeah, you were mentioning perhaps Germany wins this fight, but like the pathing is gonna be like terrible on this location. So I don't think you want to engage with like fragile units like Ulans. He could force his way though, because he's got 5 heavy cannons in total. So I guess he can just nuke any building quite fast, but. He's going back, and I don't like that. Like, Geo is aging, it's 22 minutes into the game, both players are like almost max eco and max pop. Like, you need to make something happen with your army.
Flontier dropping an outpost on the coast and a dock. I think he's realised actually where GiveUAnxiety's coin income is, and if you can deny the sea, and GiveUAnxiety will only be gathering from plantations, and plantations are a horrendously bad source of coin at this stage of the game. Maybe 10 minutes time, once a few of these extra techs come in, be very nice. Even getting that bookkeeping, which is expensive, 300 food, 300 wood, just for 10%, and 10% on 2 plantations is only an extra 2 vills gathering, so it's not the greatest upgrade just yet, but you need that to get the better upgrades. Frigate coming out, but heavy cannons nearby should be able to wreck this frigate.
Should the frigate? He's not gonna get the shot in time, but yeah, Geo is gonna get out. He's gonna get away with his H up, and like probably gonna take quad units as soon as possible. And this is gonna get harder for Germany. Good thing is British doesn't have any warships card in his deck, so German water is actually decent.
Yeah, I feel that if Flontier wants to take the water, you need to go for like 2 or 3 docks and a few more outposts and just really commit to this point, because it's the whales which is really important, and only having... he's got 45 vills on food at the moment, Flontier. Why does he need 45 on food?
Transitioning to males, I guess, and he's got no coin together beside this coin mine, but he's going for a big push here. Frigate shooting, but it's just standard frigate with no upgrades, and yeah, the heavy cannons are just gonna nuke this frigate.
And that just allows us other frigates to try and actually take off these fishing boats one by one, or you can see how Flontier is just trying to push to the right side onto where his docks are, and actually circumnavigate the rest of these houses and walling and barracks, town centres, so for a bit of a better path in. But now GiveUAnxiety 4th age with 4th age units.
So Flontier is stacking the shipment for a while, and he has been stacking the shipment for like at least 2 minutes, and he's not sending cavalry combat. He went for 2 cavalry instead, but I think what you want to do as German is just go in at this point and bring your heavy cannon to shoot as many longbows as possible. Yeah, we might see an engagement here.
Yeah, Culverin starts to engage now, and it's kind of forcing Flontier to do something. 5 heavy cannons and 2 Culverins coming out, and it looks like he wants to try and get the Culverins off forwards, but actually those Culverins get sniped, I think. Oh, it's close, and here's the engagement. Dragoon's going straight onto the Zapka lands, and actually if those heavy cannons can actually be dragged forwards onto longbows, this could be really nice.
Yeah, that's just going to be a clean up for Germany, surely. Flontier got 2 shipments, so no cav combat, and that's...
Oh my god, look at those longbows! That was... that was 8 units down in a single shot, and another cannonball comes in close. Dragoon's been taken down by the heavy cannons as well, and these heavy cannons, they just decimate anything they're in contact with. War Wagon's picking up even more falconets yet. No arsenal tech just yet, all cav combat coming in, but this artillery foundry is about to be sieged down, and no more Colves for GiveUAnxiety, and the only way he can really deal with these heavy cannons is to kind of commit with his Dragoons and cavalry, which are non-existent.
Just look, like meanwhile...
he's lost the water.
Yeah, Flontier has been doing a great job at pulling his frigate back and just nuking the entire fishing economy from GUA.
Another foundry being thrown up behind this, but like, look at Flontier's eco, 7,000 food. I mean, this could be a cheesy.
I didn't see that.
He's obviously got the game in a good place now, so he just continuously pumping. But what happens if Germany revolts now with 10 Imperial mortars at this point? He's got all the resources to continue training units for another 20 minutes from these guard war wagons. Okay, Yeoman pushing in, trying to get sniping, but heavy cannons retargeting. Here we go, another 5 down.
Oh. And then comes the GG.
Oh, the GG coming out, and Flontier.
And even the BM from Flontier.
Oh. 3-1 giving to Flontier, and I think GiveUAnxiety may be a bit tilted at that point. I didn't see the GG come out from GiveUAnxiety there, and
perhaps, yeah.
You called it. You said that once the Zapka Ulans and Guard war wagons just push in, they would absolutely clean up and decimate. And these war wagons, 725 HP. They can tank so many Dragoon and longbow shots, but it's provide that cover and fire that the heavy cannons were able to push in. And actually, Flontier's decision to go for 2 culverins really paid off, because he managed to pick off 1 culverin before the war wagons picked off the second, but it just gave him the confidence to push in with his heavy cannons. And then once those heavy cannons were engaged in longbows, that even dragoons were flying across the map as a result of that artillery. So good final push there from Flontier, and as you said, I think his water control there was so effective, because
that was really good.
That crippled GiveUAnxiety's coin income. He did have a single factory up, but GiveUAnxiety didn't have the double factory and then the coin upgrade behind it. Wow, that was what a way to end. But Flontier, 7k food. He may have been waiting to go into 700 colonial militiamen. Okay, no, this is 70 colonial militias if he revolted. Wow.
Yeah.
Villager population greatly in favour of GiveUAnxiety, because he's playing the British civilization and in the late play onto the water. But Flontier, 2 TB stagecoach throughout. Same for GiveUAnxiety, but once Flontier gets to the 4th age, factories were on the floor for him, and instead of generating resources, were pumping out those heavy cannons there and then, which he was able to use to great effect in the mid portion of the game, but also in that last push at the military population. You could see that early push with the winged hussars, while those war wagons were still veteran, GiveUAnxiety getting some good pickups with the culverins, and actually was a really good hold there for GiveUAnxiety, and that should have been a little bit better from Flontier, but 5 heavy cannons at the end was just enough to nuke GiveUAnxiety's army, and GiveUAnxiety's army population is just crippled and falls away from 120 down to about 40 pop, while Flontier maintained 140 down to 100. But you just saw there's still 5 heavy cannons, and it's not just the amount of population, it's kind of what kind of population it is. These were upgraded war wagons and heavy cannons. Longbows are never going to pick up a heavy cannon, no matter if you had 50 or 60. 5 heavy cannons always going to win that, and yeah, it was really good there from Flontier. And Flontier showing us why it was wrong to underestimate this player.
Yeah. If you know the players a bit, Flontier is definitely a good player. If you watch every 20 games he had like this year, he always performs really well at a solid lieutenant colonel / colonel level.
The other thing as well, there is no British pick here for GiveUAnxiety on this map. GiveUAnxiety has clicked into German lock because he's playing for the Nilla Ninjas. The Nilla Ninjas pick first into game number 3 and 5. Flontier is hovering around Eero at the moment, and we saw how GiveUAnxiety played his previous German game. I don't think GiveUAnxiety was planning on losing, losing a single British game, but he managed to. Flontier managed to win the previous one, and Flontier are going again for another French into German. So same matchup on Kamchatka, but now on Bering Strait.
Yeah. Flontier probably being confident. He knows that he secured the win for his team, and he won this matchup a few games before, so most definitely felt confident about playing this matchup again.
So this map is an interesting map for both players. The coin mines kind of spawn in a very predictable place, so easy raiding for both players. And GiveUAnxiety playing German chomps through their coin mines very, very fast. We could see some really good raiding from both players, and hopefully Flontier with some of that 5 QSR raiding we saw on Kamchatka can redo that magic again in this game.
Start with one coin mine, and then there's a group of 3 on each side of the map, and it's definitely a good target for raids.
Yeah, starting in this final game, and another food and wood crit start for both players. So both players be happy with that crit start. Again, it benefits both civs. You could arguably say it slightly benefits the German civilization a little bit more, and it looks like the German player will get that first pass XP as well, just due to the orientation of how this map spawns and where that trade traverse starts. And you can see this rickshaw is frantically walking his way from one side of the Bering Strait to the other to drop off the experience points to the German civ first off. Both players going for their trading post. Hunt situation looks like both players got 2 nearby. Their starting hunts, a nearby hunt. Possibly a bit thin on the ground for GiveUAnxiety. What do you think? But I think it's good enough. Yeah,
it's the same start really. They have the starting, and then
that
this is basically that.
It's mirrored. So
and then you have these here. Yeah, map is fair.
We did see a small revamp to this map, a bit more consistent treasure spawn, a few higher tier treasures on these little islands. So this island, the islands with the gold mine, the island down to the south side as well, but not a higher level treasure spawning down there. 95 wood being worked on by GiveUAnxiety, but Flontier also picking up a nice wood treasure on the top side, 80 wood. So both players getting a big juicy wood treasure to start off proceedings on this final game.
Yeah, definitely. A bit disappointing that, unfortunately for both players, they chopped all the wood they needed for the house before they found these wood treasure. But if they found it before, they could have just not chop any wood, and that would have been better. But still, they will both have a lot of wood available if they want to chop a market later in transition, for example.
GiveUAnxiety finding another 40 woods on Flontier's side of the map, and was out of the way, unable to contest it. But actually, I like that Flontier's found a 75 food treasure and actually working on this instead, because you've already got the wood treasure to help your transition, but actually, because you've gone for that early TP and had to chop the wood for your house, you may be a little bit idle due to the fact that you're not gathering food as much as you maybe would do on a normal standard build. So that 75 food should help Flontier, and we may see another 13 vill age up coming from Flontier. He's already got 650 food in bank, and he's nearly close to popping out 13th vill.
And I think this is a big mistake from GiveUA. Like, why would you start this treasure? He's gonna lose his hero, and I mean, he's once again gonna deny any scouting potential. And sure, 40 wood is nice, but keeping your hero alive in transition is just better.
Good micro from Flontier trying to get his native scouts into the action. Needs to be very careful to not actually get the native scout in between the 2 explorers to break the snare, but that was enough to pick up GiveUAnxiety's explorer there. Macaque treasure nearby, now guarded by 2 snow monkeys.
Guarded by the monkeys, yeah, I didn't know about that.
But now it looks like Flontier is going to push out. I suppose losing explorer in this situation is not the ends of the world, because it's only a 2 TP map, and it's not like the German player didn't have a trading post and it now wants to build one in transition. Both players are in similar situations. Both players going for markets, and Anxiety going for place the mines first before hunting dogs, which is actually appreciate that. But he still has 9 villagers gathering food at this point, which seems excessive.
It's for sure. I should have way more villas on wood at this point, but. And yeah, as you were mentioning, Flontier is Agent 13 again, and do you think we're gonna see 3 hearts first again?
Well, from Flontier's point of view, like, it worked last time. However, the tournament player will be thinking, right, I've got that adaptation. If I can age up early, GiveUAnxiety will know that there's 3 hus on the way. So if I change my plan and do this, I'll catch him off.
That's true. And on the other hand, GOE is not gathering for steel traps as well, so he should be able to get a good batch of Ulan this time.
Having
He's
said
not
that, though,
running front, though.
having said that, yeah, 3 Hussars are
3
on
Huss
the
on
way.
the way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no mind game at all for Flontier going for the same strategy again.
GiveUAnxiety, though, exploring on the deck, won't be able to scout this. Native Scout as well in a really nice position. It should provide line of sight for both villagers going to either of these coin mines to the top side. And this map only has a single in-base silver mine, 2k resources. I like this base building though from GiveUAnxiety, really defending this mine. And actually, those Hussars will struggle to do anything too significant here.
Yeah, three house coming in, but let's check units in queue. GOE didn't gather for a house, so again he's gonna get 3 Ulans out. Another mistake from GOE again. I mean, 2 Ulans pop in, but yeah, there's the 3 house, and Flontier has a window to like make a bit of damage. I guess he's gonna idle 1 settler wagon. He's gonna trap the Ulans again. Big mistake from GOE. You want to keep these Ulans alive. Oh, Minuteman being called. That's already an overreaction, I think. But Flontier is attacking one of his houses now.
Can you just check your mic there? It went a little bit robotic, but it should be fine.
Okay, yeah, he did the same for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
5 Hussars being trained, but 5 Hussars and 2 Hussars still remaining. These Minutemen are quickly going down to low HP and now are on a HP which are easily easily abusable from the Hussars, shall I say. I think Flontier can actually engage this if he was wanted to try and take this on. Maybe waiting for an Explorer to help him out and do some taking these Minutemen off one by one, but Minutemen... the Explorer is already down for Flontier, shall I say. GiveUAnxiety still training more Ulans, and same story for Flontier. And here we go, big engagement. Does the trample mode happen from these Hussars? I don't think so just yet.
I don't think so, but I don't understand this play from Flontier, really. He had the same situation 30 seconds ago here, and he didn't check the trade, and now he's taking it when GOE should have been able to like pump 5 more Ulans, and he would have just cleaned up. So quite a gamble here from Flontier, but ending up paying off. And
so all in all, actually, probably it feels like it's slightly better for GiveUAnxiety. Those Minutemen managed to get some value out of that investment. No villagers have gone down for either player, but it does force GiveUAnxiety to spend more coin from that single silver mine, which will mean that GiveUAnxiety will have to push out his base earlier than he would have hoped for. And that's not as serious of a problem as it is for the French player.
So both players are stacking a lot of resources now. They both have 1 calorie in queue, and Flontier is gonna pop an additional 2. Oh, he's researching placer mines now. So he skipped placer mines and steel traps early on, but researching both of them now. And GOE is gonna age. This time the situation is looking a bit better for GOE. He didn't lose that settler wagon, but yeah, he's got less cav, so Flontier should be able to get a bit of raiding done, but so does GOE of here.
Yeah, 2 Ulans actually going straight into the base north side for GiveUAnxiety. We'll pick up probably 2 vills here, actually. This is a big raid and quite huge. Putting all the vills into the town centre. What is Flontier doing? Not the same, but these villagers on the coin mine having to push out, and we're talking about raiding for both players, and 700 coin comes in from Flontier. Luckily, that's all the resources he needs to age up. Let's check in Flontier's base, and more Ulans being trained to try and defend this raid. But GiveUAnxiety nearly up to the Fortress Age at this point.
Yeah, and that's kind of the counterpart of going 3 house first, right? Is that the coin from the French player was so late that GOE is going to age a good 20/30 seconds before France, and should have a window to do something. But good catch from Flontier. He's gonna clean these raiding 2 Ulans.
Yeah, so he still has 4 Hussars out in the field. Same with GiveUAnxiety having 4 Ulans out in the field and currently working his way on his first silver mine outside safety of the base. Do you think Flontier will be once again going for a Dragoon-heavy opening into the third age, and will GiveUAnxiety send his 8 skirm, 7 skirm again?
Good question, to be fair. I hope GoE is going 1k wood, because that would be the most logical thing to do. No, 8 skirmishers, which is also fine. 1k would allow him to get like additional pop space and to research veteran Ulans and things like that. And Flontier, what is he gonna do? He's got skirmishers and dragoons and queues, pretty standard. This ville might go down. No, it's gonna get saved by the house. But there's the German army on the way, so has to be careful here. Popping skirmishers, and he's gonna pop dragoons, I guess, as well.
How many dragoons is in queue? A full 5 batch as well, and trading off the Ulans and Hussars. Actually liking this position here from Flontier. Just a little bit more defense advantage. All those Ulans going down. Really nice pickup so far. Those dragoons are still on the field. You need to try and kite away from the Explorer though. But if GiveUAnxiety overcommits here, Minutemen could happen.
It's definitely an overcomment from GoE. Minutemen getting called. Not gonna get punished though, but
idle 3 war wagons as well.
Flontier didn't send his shipment until now, so that could have been really scary for him.
Oh, that is bad, isn't it? That's unfortunate. You just see how both players are really tense in this final game of a play all 5 series, and you'd just imagine if another 5 goons popped out there, or even worse for GiveUAnxiety, just a random 3 QSR shipment comes out to spoil the party. But 8 skirmishers first and Flontier.
Yeah, safest option.
I would like to see Flontier getting his greatcoats though. I've noticed he hasn't been getting it as often as GiveUAnxiety has, and GiveUAnxiety a little bit better in that department, and his bills have their greatcoats. And when you're gathering outside your base in a raiding game like this, and you know Frontier's playing against the Germans, and Germans are known for their Ulan raids.
Yeah, I mean, Flontier should definitely drop a house like here, get line of sight. But yeah, he's gonna spot these Ulans incoming, so he's gonna send his goons, and
goons are already there to intercept, and that should be another 2 dead.
Always raiding when the situation is a stealth mate, which is just wrong, and he's just gonna donate some XP.
Yeah,
quite funny since units are Ulans, but
war wagons leads in the charge here, and you know that the opponent's got skirmishers. This could be a nice couple of volleys here from Flontier, but heavy skirm war wagon push coming in. Actually, GiveUAnxiety's mass here is really strong at this point.
Yeah, this is a scary army to deal with for France, but if he sends 7 skirms himself, he's totally fine. Even 2 falconets would be a good call here. He's gonna get some free kills. He's gonna lose his stable there. Oh, 5 dragoons. Okay, that's yeah, not the greatest shipment to be sent for France at this point, but the difference is Flontier is using his dragoons to reduce GiveUAnxiety's scum count, while GoE is using his war wagon to reduce the goon count from Flontier. So quite an even trade, I think.
Yeah, the 2 armies looked very, very even. GiveUAnxiety losing 10 skirms to Frontier's 4, but not losing a single war wagon, with Flontier having 6 dragoons already going down. So slightly better trade there for GiveUAnxiety, but GiveUAnxiety losing quite a lot of Ulans early in Age 2, as well as a few raids in so far. But yeah, when you go and get skirm goon, and you had the option to go for 7 skirm and try and lead that skirmisher count, I think Flontier could have got a better trade than he does, and at this point he feels that Flontier's on the back foot, where the previous game Flontier was now starting to kind of dictate where he wanted to take these engagements.
Yeah, and GoE is once again sending Jaggers and going skirmish or war wagon heavy. This time he's definitely have the upper hand though, and I mean, I guess Flontier goes to falconets, and we have a similar situation than the game before, where it's skirmgoon versus skirmgoon, but France has 2 falconets. But we'll see. I'll definitely give German the upper hand at this point, but he either need to train like mostly cavalry, I guess, at this point, like a lot of war wagon to snipe the falconets, or a lot of Ulan just to bait the Dragoons.
Yeah, GiveUAnxiety does have skirmishers and war wagons in queue, and if you're sending Jaegers at this point, you need to really focus that war wagon count. You've still got 3 skirms in queue at this point, and you can always have a little bit too many skirmishers and not enough anti-cavalry. And Frontier's playing the French, a civ renowned for their heavy cavalry in the cuirassier department, and there you go, Jaegers pop in as well as a full batch of 5 skirmishers.
You should definitely prioritize war wagons here, but it's going to depend on how well France can trade his falconets, how much value he can get. Because if he loses his falconets pretty much for free, then there's no way he can kill the Jaegers ever. But this is a good position for France to just unpack his falconets and get as much value as possible.
I think he's going to retreat to the buildings just to try and help that pathing issue, and
it's definitely a good call. He's getting close to his villages as well. And Jerry's pushing right in, and
he's feeling the GUA hype at this point. But oh my God, 2 Jaegers going down first volley, and that is the units he wants to pick up with his falconets. If he can take down the Jaegers, that he'll be very happy. A couple of Courier de Bois just here to try and tank, and all these units from the German army do range damage, but these Courier de Bois 40% range resist, 240 HP. Just really nice just to kind of fill out the infantry ranks here and just try and absorb damage. And what was GiveUAnxiety picked up? A barracks, a market, not the market's still up, but it's just a barracks, and now pushing topside.
Yeah, Flontier is gonna get more volleys with his falconet, which is really good. Definitely making a good use of his falconet so far. Cavalry combat, so for GiveUAnxiety actually, not for France. Okay, so his war wagons are jacked.
Skirmish moving a little bit too far. I was hoping the Dragoons could have tried to engage with the war wagons a little bit more to kind of trade off. But we do see a raid to the south side, but it wasn't an Ulan, it was a macaque. But that macaque has given the line of sight to signify more Ulans coming.
It's like, he's preparing the field for GOA's 3 Ulan. GOA might use his raid to distract Flontier and try to kill the falconets meanwhile.
But Flontier's sending all his Dragoons, and actually you can see where this army is now starting to come in, and Flontier's skirm count's not looking great at the moment. 1 cuirassier is currently in queue. All those Dragoons engage in that Ulan, and the rest of this army is getting in close, and looks like Flontier will have to soon turn around and try and defend this.
Flontier is sending 7 skirms right now, or cav combat I guess would make sense as well. 3 cuirassiers.
3 cuirassiers.
I don't think that's what you want. I mean, GOA is not making any cav at all, besides war wagon of course, but no hand cavalry.
Second stable being thrown now by GiveUAnxiety in the middle of the map, and this war wagon count looks very, very scary from GiveUAnxiety, but it's not like Flontier is winning the skirm war as well. There's still a healthy number of skirmishers from GiveUAnxiety, and more actual skirmishers than what Flontier has, and this is one of those few occasions where, like you say, that 7 skirm shipment is really, really important. It's currently 16 skirms versus 28 skirms and 9 Jaegers.
I guess cuirassiers are fine, because GOA will have to sack a lot of war wagons and commit inside the French army to kill them, and that's when you can flank with the cuirassiers on the side. Also getting 3 kills on these war wagons. Good pickups from Flontier. He's been doing it really well so far at protecting his falconets, and 9 Ulans coming in for a GOA, taking the veterancy as well. So that could be.
He's pushing in now. He's pushing in. You can see it.
Yeah, he's pushing in. Oh, there's so many deals here. If GOA identifies that, then he could just get a massive cleanup, and there's no skirms to snipe these war wagons really, and he's gonna pull his villages, which I like a lot. Oh, big Z move coming in from both sides, but the falconet's just leaving the battle, and I mean the cuirassiers are just gonna get sniped by the war wagons, and he could get some nice volley with the fox and the Jaegers on the right side of the battle.
Lots of those war wagons go down, and another 5 batch of cuirassiers. This could be huge.
Oh wow, this could be just a cleanup for France, and
like there's so many Dragoons still on the field for a French player. Like this is, I didn't expect this to happen. Those falconets are still on the field, and the infantry is snared. Another volley coming in from the falconets very, very soon. But look at that, cuirassier switch playing, and hashtag GiveUAnxiety hype is going to fall flat on its face here. Flontier is showing how it's done. It's not over just yet. It's actually relatively even, but damn.
Yeah, it's even, but I mean, Flontier didn't lose any veil in this exchange as well. Like, impressive fight for him. He had much less stuff than Germany for sure, and this cure is gonna tank a lot. And still the 2 Falconets alive. He's got a decent count of Dragoons, so he cannot die to like 8 Irlands or something. And I mean, this is just looking good for France at this point. Like, really impressed by Flontier control here. And
I'm just looking at the chat, and they've only just got up to the monkey raid at this point, so they're in for a treat when that happens. Okay, 2 Irlands moving south side, and both players will be fighting this coin mine nearby.
Oh wow, yeah, that's big.
But there's so many Dragoons here from the French player. This could you see the French army is now moving to the south, and everybody's moving to the south side. These Courier de Bars are actually could be quite useful to try just like pin these Jaegers down, and with Courier says Dragoons zoning off, actually they're reinforcing war wagons and skirmishers.
Good catch.
This is nice here for Flontier. Really nice.
Yeah, Flontier's playing that really solid because he was really behind in this mid game, and just getting like a good trade and now securing resources. And just if he identifies that Germany has to be gathering on this 5k gold mine, and he's gathering on the other one as well.
He's definitely identified. You can see it's just slowly moving down, but actually it's the Falcons on top of the Jaegers as well, and a couple of Cuirassiers nearby, but they're having to defend from the Cuirassiers, but that gives 3 volleys from the Falconets, and these Falconets have been so worthwhile. It's probably one of the best Falconet controls I've seen in a while come out in the tournament game.
Yeah. 1 curve remaining, and I don't know, still the 2 Falconets alive, and they're gonna get another good volley and 7 skirmisher shipment coming in for France, and that's just gonna neglect all the potential from Germany to kill these Falconets with war wagons. So I guess German last stand is to send 8 Uhlans now and make a batch of 5 and try to go. But yeah,
these coin villies though, these coin villies are now surrounded, and Cuirassier batch of 5. Oh my god, wow. This is it.
This is a clean up, and yeah, Flontier should just defend with Scumgoo in his army, and yeah, that's what he's doing, and sending the QS to raid. A really good call.
Oh, all those settler wagons going down villages. GiveUAnxiety needs to try and split these up. I think he's just completely accepted that those are guys going down, trying to focus off these Falconets. War wagons moving in. Dragoons here to defend, but good another big volley there. And only 1 Jaeger is on the field, and another double skirm kill from that Falconet, and these war wagons are overextended.
Yeah, these war wagons are dead. The Falconet is probably gonna die, but like, there's that, right? There's 5 QS that can just and the Falconet is not dead just yet. Oh, we're gonna kill an extra Jaegers, are we? Haha, today was an off day. Yeah. GG's.
And GiveUAnxiety has resigned. Flontier picking up a 4-1 win for the SKGs. The SKGs are desperate for those points. I'm sure their teams will be very, very happy. And whoever wrote Flontier off before this match, be ashamed of yourself, guys, because Flontier 4-1 versus GiveUA, and GiveUA's smack talking has appeared to backfired. And like I said, what's your reaction?
Well, that was a really good series to watch. I'd say that this is a pretty logical score. It could have been 3-2 as well, but yeah, Flontier just played quite well today, and just logically winning this series.
It felt like GiveUAnxiety was in such a strong position throughout that match game, but then once that engagement near that coin mine, the Vils, the Cuirassiers and Dragoons slamming in, and did you see how Flontier kind of drag boxed his army, including the Falconets, and they kind of like switch positions, but like charged in with like a really high speed because they're reforming up, and then all those Cuirassiers slams in, Dragoons in, skirmishers absorbing some fire, CDBs tanking as well, and yeah, it was such a good fight there. Even just looking at the military population, you're just going to see how it's going to fall away for the German player. Oh, that's brutal. That really is brutal.
Yeah, I think one of GiveUA's big mistake was to just never push the gold mine on the right side, but instead go for the base and the buildings.
Yeah, certainly. Villager population, not much raiding going on actually. The early 3 Hussar play from Flontier appeared to backfire after picking up only Uhlans, but not many units. GiveUAnxiety looked like he was a bit slow in producing vills into the second age, or a bit house population, as you said, on that kind of 40 out of 40 point. But apart from that, though, good play towards the end. But after losing that military and out on the map needing coin, Flontier was able to capitalise with those continuous 5 reinforcing batch of QSS, and just to clean up. And I think GiveUAnxiety would be a bit upset, specifically that game there, but in general, 4-1 to Flontier. And Comet K as well, saying Flontier overrated and going to be going down to GiveUAnxiety as well, getting that chord completely wrong.
Yeah, it's always a bit risky to just trash talk before a game, because when that happens, well, that doesn't look good. Everyone's spamming Flontier 1-4 at GiveUA on the chat.
Flontier is a talented player, but he's also the most overrated player in all of ESOC. It still puzzles me why everyone seems to rate him so high. Is the chat being spammed at the moment, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was a good series. I mean, score is a bit rude for GiveUA, but the games were closer than what the score is showing. Especially this, the last German-France, the German-British as well was really good.
And the Portuguese mirrored for game number 1, remember? That could have gone either way.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
If GiveUAnxiety won that first game, and GiveUAnxiety's like, right, I've won my first game, not playing British, that would have set the tone completely.
Big swing, yeah. I totally agree on that.